Welcome to the Lapin Lounge. Today's guest, Celestially Pink. The TV show thing is definitely the least answered, I think, mostly because of all the anime folks and things. I mean, it's not as though I was not one of them, but I definitely relate to the idea of the fact that when I had more time, I was into way more anime. But
yes,
now,
exactly.
it's just like, I can't keep up anymore.
There's too many, and I'm like, which one do I even go with?
Yeah.
The popular ones?
But you were saying, like, Kami-sama Kiss. I remember the name, but I don't remember the subject matter or anything like that.
It's like basically this like girl, her mom passed away and her dad kind of abandoned her, and a land god gives her the duty to be a land goddess.
Oh.
And in doing so, she gets a familiar his name's Tomoe, and he's like a fox yokai. And they like butt heads a lot because they're really mad that they have to deal with each other.
Right.
But then they fall in love, and it's really cute. It's one of my favorites.
Why does that sound like the opposite of Spice and Wolf? That genuinely.
Maybe,
I actually don't really know much about Spice and Wolf. I just know that there's a fox familiar and there's a lot of economics or something.
I actually have no idea when Kami-sama Kiss came out. I watched it like in college, I remember.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It came out in like the manga came out in 2008 and ended in 2016.
That's actually later than I thought. Maybe I'm thinking of Kami-sama Karen or something else.
Maybe here, let me send a picture of it because it was a very, very popular anime amongst the girls.
Yeah.
The girlies.
I've definitely found that very early on. Oh, I think I recognize this because of him.
Yeah,
like the one on the top.
The English? Yeah, that's Tomoe.
Yeah.
I love all the characters. They're very good.
He seems familiar. I mean, I'm not making
the English dub. Oh my goodness. The English dub, I think, is really good for this anime. Mm-hmm. Tomoe is voiced by J. Michael Tatum, who's one of my favorite voice actors. He voices Sebastian in Black Butler, which is another one of my favorite animes.
Yeah. I definitely had a case of watching that show for sure. I got up to season 2 and I did not like Alois Transy. I don't think very many people did.
Oh no! Oh god, no! I got like war flashbacks.
Yeah, that is a name that people recognize, I'm sure. But yeah, no, that kind of ruined it for me.
Yeah, that season was bad. But like, Book of Circus was good. The movie, which was, I think it was Book of the Atlantic, was pretty good as well.
I didn't know that they even went on to any of that.
Yeah, it was several years after.
Oh.
Like, I literally, after season 2, I was like, we're never getting another season of Black Butler.
I mean, fair enough.
This is never going to happen. And then years, like, I want to say like 3 or 4 years later, they gave us the movie, which was Book of Murder, I think was first. Then we got the other movie, which is Book of Atlantic, and then we got Book of Circus. Mm-hmm. And apparently it's coming back next year.
Oh.
With the newest, I forget which book it's called. But if I remember, it was like the school arc or something like that. I've kept kind of up to date with the manga. I'm probably like very behind.
Huh.
But like, I read way ahead of like stuff that was released anime wise.
Interesting. I mean, I also thought there was like anime original stuff though, wasn't there?
Well, season 2 was anime original.
Oh, the whole thing was? No wonder.
Yeah. And then half of season 1 was anime original.
Oh, that I didn't know about.
Stuff. Yeah, they took stuff from what was already out in the manga.
Mm-hmm.
It was because they wanted to like end season 1 for the series like entirely.
Oh.
So they were kind of guessing where stuff was going. So it's really weird timeline wise if you're trying to watch Black Butler in like chronological order.
Yeah. Maybe that was why all of the endings for everything seems so weird.
Yeah.
Because they just
I
weren't
recommend Book of
endings.
Circus though. It's very, very good and it's very true to that arc in the manga.
Did you?
It's very sad though as well.
Oh. Is it one of those
I
where
would be
they
careful.
adapt the first part of it and then you go to the manga and everything just like goes to town and everyone dies? Is that one of those?
In Book of Circus, I'm not going to say any spoilers, but there's like characters you meet and you like, and then they do some stuff and you're like, oh god, no, please.
Oh,
and then
no.
more stuff happens and you're like, oh god, please, no.
Yeah. I think maybe that's another part of it. It's like my tolerance for some of that went down so much after like I don't know, 2020 and everyone becoming more emotionally raw as people and just like
I know,
not
I
wanting
feel like
to
I
suffer.
can't handle I can't handle that. That's me with one of my favorite TV shows of all time is Hannibal.
Uh-huh.
And in the second season, there's an episode where like everything just goes wrong for all of my favorite
Oh
characters.
no.
And and it's the last episode, and it's like I'm never able to rewatch season 3 because I always just stop my rewatch at season 2 because I'm like I can't watch that last episode.
Yeah.
It'll ruin me.
I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of how I feel with watching Firefly and
Oh
the
my
movie.
god.
I can't rewatch that movie because it's like it's gonna happen, but did it have to? But like, did they
Yeah, did
really
it have
need
to?
to do that? So I don't know. And just knowing
Story-wise,
it never.
in the
Oh,
yeah.
oh, what?
Oh, I was gonna say story-wise in Hannibal, it makes sense and it
Yeah.
makes the show better. But at the same time, it's like I'm emotionally devastated. Like,
Yeah, there's
I
also
get
shows.
my feelings are hurt.
I never finished some shows because I felt like they were going to go in that direction, and I guessed right on like, well, okay, I don't know if I guessed right on Castle or not. Castle was a fun one, but I don't know. There were episodes that got so intense that it was just like I don't want to see this anymore. I don't want to see stuff
I'm
happen.
scared.
But
It's so bad too when you get emotionally invested into characters. You're like, no, please, for the love of God,
yeah,
be okay.
I don't want to feel the pit in my stomach of like just trying to see something very much. It's not like no suffering is allowed ever or anything like that. But I don't know. I just keep it lighthearted most of the time.
I know that's how I feel lately. So it's hard to watch some episodes of Hannibal. I gotta skip them.
Yeah.
Also, it's a very like gory show, so it's like
Yeah.
But also, they have so many really delicious like foods on that show that I've tried to cook,
Oh,
and I've had a lot of fun with them.
well, I mean,
I want to get the cookbook.
at least he's not a cannibal or anything.
Oh my god.
I mean, because I think you'd be missing some ingredients for a few of those things in the cookbook.
Yeah. I use the animal adjacent of
Oh, what?
of whatever he's cooking.
Just a pork cookbook. Just entirely.
Yeah.
Mm.
Just pork or lamb or I don't know. He uses a lot of lamb on the show. Well, he says it's lamb.
Yeah.
I don't believe him.
Yeah.
I don't trust.
Oh no, it would never. He would never lie, I'm sure.
But yeah, that's a show I recommend if people like horror, like kind of police procedural in the first season.
Oh really?
It takes a lot. What's really cool is I really like the writing of the dialogue. The dialogue is always very interesting in that show because they pull a lot of quotes from the actual books, which is like The Red Dragon and Silence of the Lambs.
Oh. Well, that's good.
I've read Red Dragon. I haven't read Silence of the Lambs yet.
It's interesting though, because that's the only one that I really even hear of people talking about.
Silence of the Lambs?
Yeah, but that's probably because of the movie. And it's
Yeah.
one of those
I
things.
watched it for the first time this
Recently?
year, last year.
Cool.
Yeah,
I've never seen
it
it.
was trippy. Oh, I recommend it. I mean, it is kind of intense in some parts, but it's a very good movie. I think it's like one of the few horror movies that's won like awards and stuff for like big Academy Awards, which is hard for like horror movies in general.
Yeah, I feel like horror movies and probably comedy movies don't really get nominated for stuff like that very much. I was also thinking about I've never really delved much into horror much ever until this year specifically. Like I did.
Really? What?
Well, I mean, I've watched a lot of people experience it and like play the games and stuff, and you know, I've always been adjacent of like watching horror stuff, but I've never really done any of that myself. And I actually did try to stream a horror game this year.
Ooh.
I tried
What horror game?
3 of them actually. Let me see which ones they were, because I'm telling you right now, it didn't go well. It actually
Was it like was it too much, or like
well,
you weren't having fun?
the thing I realized about myself is I think I'm just impatient for the build up when it comes to like game form for stuff like this. Because what I was noticing is I would go into a house that they were trying to get me to explore. It was this game where you had to, there were like these automaton things that would show up and sort of like jump scare. And the thing was, it was all kind of tongue in cheek. I think you would probably like the game a fair amount more than I would. But when I was trying it, it's just like I would go into the thing and think, oh, I have to do this like 12 times. I don't want to do this. It was a game called Born into Fear. Let me link it.
I feel like I've heard it. Maybe a lot of people are playing it recently.
Maybe. Yeah, I'm not too sure I've seen it all that much, but I'm sure people have. Because there's always a need for people to go find horror games for October and stuff like that. But yeah, this was the one that I started with. And I looked at it, you know, it looks good. It looks scary. It spooked me a few times. But I played it for like 10 minutes and thought, I don't really want to do all that. And so I went on to the next one. And it was one called It Steals. Now, this one...
It steals.
Yeah, this one was very much the... Okay, if Born into Fear was like the exploration, atmospheric kind of little bit jump scary one, then Into Fear was the you are being chased, run type. Like that is
gosh.
it. And that was all it was. And I just did not I did not have the patience for
It's
that.
just constant stress is what
Yeah. It's just like, why would I want
What I'm
to
guessing.
feel this in particular? Like, you just have to run from this thing that you cannot see that sneaks up on you at times. And it's like, I want to do this. But then the third one,
You see,
wait, what?
Oh, the third one? I was gonna say, you see, with like horror games and stuff, I prefer the ones that have like puzzles and things to solve. And like, yeah, you're being pursued, but it's not a constant keep running,
Yeah.
just keep going.
No,
just
that
keep moving.
that one, it felt like, it was just like frantic almost. But it would have its
Yeah, I
slow
was gonna
moments,
say.
but I did not like how it was set up. I feel like that one was one for people that are like more competitive, I guess, who will open up a game and think, I'm not going to stop until I beat this game. It's for those kinds of people, and I just don't think I'm that kind of person. And then this third one was called I'm Scared, and I didn't get it to work properly. I literally just didn't get it to work properly. So I feel like I might try that again, maybe next year, maybe some other time. But I feel like the premise of it was pretty cool. Like it was sort of like PlayStation-ish graphics and stuff. And I feel like that can be just scary by itself almost. But yeah, that one seemed interesting.
It looks very cool, very neat.
Yeah.
Did you ever play like any RPG horror games growing up?
Not growing up, no. The only game that I can think of that really kind of counted as horror was a really, really old one called Dare to Dream. And it was on the
Dare to Dream.
Yeah, Windows 95 or something like that. It was super old. It was like a DOS game. I don't even think it's going to come up in like searches because there's some freaking movie that's called Dare to Dream. We'll get a video.
It says a point and click adventure.
Yeah, it's a point and click adventure.
Apparently, it's a series.
Yeah, there were 3 of them.
And it's abandonware now.
Yep. You could probably just download and play it, but yeah, I'm seeing like a full walkthrough over here of people playing it. That is basically the kind of horror that I think I might have been more primed for. Because after that, I mean, I wasn't just going to stream for literally 30 minutes trying 3 different games. I went to one called The Bunny Graveyard. Now,
The Bunny Graveyard.
that one is genuinely one of my favorite games now. And it's one of the first horror games I really have ever sat and played. And I think it's because it was a pixel one.
Ooh.
Now, if you...
I recognized the thumbnail of the game only because Game Theory made a theory on this
Yeah,
recently,
I did.
and I haven't watched it.
Don't watch it. Don't watch the theory.
No, it's not good.
It's not that it's not good, but I will say, do your best to just play the game and then do any other kind of video related stuff, because I think you'll be able to appreciate the game way more by itself. And I think what it helped me realize is that I need to, if I'm going to do anything related to horror again, it's going to be pixel horror games. Like, it's just gotta be.
I was gonna say some of the really good like horror games I remember playing in like middle school were like Mad Father, which was an RPG
Yeah,
Maker
I've heard of
horror
that
game.
one. But like Ib and
Yeah, Ib as well. Misao or
Misao, yeah.
That one is good. I would recommend Misao, but that one is very the themes are very heavy.
Yeah, I imagine
So
a
you
lot
have
of
to
them
be
are going to
careful.
get pretty dark. But I don't think I necessarily mind that, because I think part of the suspension of disbelief is just I've played more games that look like these than I have of some of the other ones, where you're doing like your whole 3D asset flippy kind of like strange
Horror game
environments.
one.
And
Yeah.
it's like, a million different houses that look really similar to each other. Oh, that's crazy. But but there's like a look to horror where you can see like a
Yeah.
cheaply made looking one, and then you can see one that has a lot of effort put into it. And with the Bunny Graveyard, it's got full pixel animated cutscenes in it. Like, it's crazy high quality for such a small studio. And I really love that game. I think out of season, it's even a good one to play, because it's not like an inherently spooky game. It's just it's just a game, you know, and it goes places, and some of the places are spooky. That's kind of it. But yeah, like, I don't know. I appreciated getting to experience that bit of everything during October. Although I did it in November.
I know, I love I know I missed like half of October because of my vacation.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna play a bunch of horror games in November.
Yeah,
'cause
just make
gosh
up
dang,
for it.
do I love.
and make one of
There's
them.
so many good ones.
Make one of them the bunny graveyard. I will gift the game.
Yes,
to
I'm
you.
definitely gonna buy it. It looks really cool.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I won't give the game to you. You buy it. That's fine. But no.
Yes, I'm gonna
That's
buy
just
it.
my way of saying, like, I would give the game to anybody who wants to play it because it's really good.
You know what game I recommend you to play? There's a game called Yearwalk.
Yearwalk.
It's based on Scandinavian lore about a custom called the Yearwalk. Basically, you do like this sort of ceremony thing on the last day of the year to see the future of the coming year.
Mm-hmm.
But you run into a lot of spirits and dangerous things, and if you're not careful, you can die.
Oh.
But it's very interesting, and it's a very artsy game, and it's very, very atmospheric.
Oh.
It's
It looks cool.
amazing.
Yeah, I feel like I'd appreciate something more like this because I think part of what I was getting hung up on, the first two games that I was trying is like, they don't look interesting. They don't really have characters. They don't really have a plot line per se. And I think I'm very tied to those ideas. So like when you have something that's just a concept, like it steals, you are being chased. You're not being told anything about what's happening. But then Born into Fear was like, you're almost kind of like over explained to at the beginning. You're Agent J, a member of this organization. It's like, okay.
You're like, sir, please.
All right. Let's have a little mystery and not like a full explanation right there at the beginning. Like, there's a balance to keep, I think.
I'm like trying to think of some other horror games that are really good. Ranbo, I think it was
Oh,
called.
I've heard of that one.
Ranbo is a good one.
Yeah.
Neverending Nightmare is a very, very unique art style. Neverending Nightmare. It's like side-scrolling, black and white, and I think the only other color
Oh, I'm looking at it
on
now.
the screen is like red. Yeah, it's very.
Oh, that looks. You know what that honestly reminds me of? Do you remember the children's book, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gives off those vibes of like a kid's illustration.
Yeah, that one for sure. It's like, I like the cross hatching in there with the shadows and stuff too. That's a cool effect to have in a game. I don't know that
It's a good game.
I would like enjoy this per se, but
Yeah, it's very intense in moments and stuff.
but like
The thing with horror is it's so hard to like find a good balance between horror elements and like gameplay.
Yes.
I guess it's
this is one of those reasons why I would say that while Resident Evil is obviously one of the biggest horror franchises ever and one of the most well known, there's like, it's a horror franchise with like 2 horror games in it. That's kind of the way that I would put it, because so many of them are so very action oriented, and I feel like they didn't really get a lot of their main like scary, like this game is scary moments until like the remakes, which are a lot more recent.
yeah. I mean, when I remember playing Resident Evil 2, like classic for the first time, that game was terrifying because you had to do you could spare not spare. You could save like sparingly. You had the ink ribbons. You had to deal with like,
Yeah.
okay, I found an ink ribbon. I can only save once.
Yeah.
I have like 2 bullets.
It's like,
What do I do?
it was very survival. Like it's a survival puzzle game with a horror setting, I guess. I don't know. Maybe the need to pick everything apart isn't quite so necessary, but I feel like the main horror game in that series is 7, because they tried
7
to
was
make it
very
scary.
much. 7 was like what I wanted. Not exactly what I would want a sequel to PT to be, but it very much filled that emptiness in my heart
Yeah.
after they decided they weren't going to do Silent Hills.
For sure. I definitely lament the end of the idea of that game ever existing, because I do think it's interesting though that a game that was literally a demo influenced the style of horror for like the next 10 years
For
after.
years, yeah.
And I feel like
It was like insane.
probably the major one that I think of when I think of a game that probably wouldn't have existed as it was if not for PT was Layers of Fear.
Yeah,
I don't
definitely.
think that would have been that way, or people would have received it as well if not for PT.
And the same studio that I think is doing Layers of Fear now has the ability to do, I want to say the Silent Hill 2 remake?
Yeah, I think so. I think that they're the ones that got that. I'm
It's
curious.
cool, but I'm nervous because they also made the Blair Witch game, which
Ooh.
I did not enjoy
Uh,
at all.
well, okay. For the few times that I've heard somebody or like seen somebody play it, that one doesn't seem that good. I'll admit.
Yeah, no.
Actually, 1 second. I need to see if I can fix something. Don't stop the recording or anything like that. I'll just let
Okay.
you know because I noticed that my face isn't working.
Oh no, that's not good.
Well, the expression part of the face is not working, and so I just want to go ahead and fix that before I keep going. Feel free to take a drink of water because I need to do that too.
Oh yes, I should do that.
Yeah, I have oftentimes forgotten breaks during all of this.
I forget breaks during streaming. Like,
Yeah, me
I
too.
don't drink water half the time.
I really don't. It's bad. I would probably be able to stream much longer if I actually stood up. There's an old streamer that I used to watch who every single hour he would get up and take a break. And I feel like
That's smart.
it's just smart. It's the best way to do it. But yeah, hold on. I think it's fixed now.
I wish I had the remembrance to do that.
Yeah.
Take a break every hour.
Okay. I don't, as I think about it, I don't really know how we got on this. But
I know,
That's
we
fine.
were going down the line of like games, I think. I don't know.
just,
How did we get here?
well, you mentioned a horror movie, so I guess I mentioned a horror game.
Oh, yeah, because we were talking about TV shows.
Oh, yeah. I guess that's my
and I
main,
brought up Hannibal.
yeah, that's my main exposure to it. Because the only horror movie that I've seen two horror movies. I've seen Bingo Hell. And that is only because of a watch along that another VTuber had done at some point. And the second one was also another VTuber who watched one. It was Killer Clowns from Space. Those are technically
Those are the only
yeah.
two horror movies you've
Only
seen?
two.
You've never seen like The Shining or Scream?
not a single one.
Oh my god!
Well, okay.
Well,
there
you
was
did-
also like a show that I was watching because there was another VTuber doing a watch along. I don't know if you're sensing a theme or not, but I just don't really watch a ton of movies by myself, so I think that's probably the main thing. But yeah, whenever it's like a watch along, sometimes I'll rent the movie and do what the title says. I'll watch along, but that one was the Chucky series. And
Oh, the TV show.
yeah, the TV show. And we're kind of
My mom's
thrown
watching
in.
it right now.
Oh, really? Is it good? I mean,
Yeah, she
okay.
is.
No, I can say that it's good because I saw some of it. I just haven't seen it
Yeah,
from the
she's been-
beginning.
She wants me to watch it too because she's like, "You'll love this show," and I was like, "When I have time, Mom. When I have time."
Well, I guess I can corroborate that. I mean, it was super entertaining, that's for sure. I think that one is also another one that's meant to be a bit more tongue in cheek, though, because I think
Yeah.
maybe that's the other part of it. don't know that I would watch a horror movie that's trying to take itself too seriously. I just don't think I'd be super interested in that, but it just depends, you know?
I definitely, well, have you seen Alien?
Nope.
The first Alien?
No. I actually have not.
I would recommend that as like, if I were to pick a favorite horror movie, for me, it would be Alien. Just because the amount of like dread you feel watching, waiting for the alien to show up.
Yeah.
It's like,
The game
it's
does
like
that really well.
peak horror. Yes. The only thing with Alien Isolation though is it kind of drags on a bit.
Yeah, I heard it goes kind of long, and like by the time you're in the middle, you're just kind of like annoyed because you just keep dying.
You basically.
It's that gameplay balance again, because the other part of what I was talking about with Resident Evil is it's so much of a game. Like you're not helpless, I guess. You don't have to be helpless for it to be a horror game, but if you're running around as Chris Redfield, are you really going to be scared? What are you going to be scared of? Like he's,
you know what? I still get scared running around as Leon.
Well, yeah.
That boy can't. He runs, especially in Resident Evil 2. I'm like, run faster, sir.
I mean, that
Please,
was
you're a
his
police
first day.
officer.
Like I think that's part of what they captured so well about the remake. It was that he was, while by the end of it he was like making quips and stuff, still he was pretty scared. Like, and this was all pretty crazy for a first day. But even then, like you can fight back. You can find all this stuff. I think it's probably not super scary until you get to like the liquors and X and everything.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I hate Mr. X. He scares me so much.
It's so ominous.
I have so much anxiety.
He is chasing you, but he's just hunting you. It's not like a sprint that you get super annoyed with because you can't get it off of you. It's just this constant thing. It's a brilliant section of the game for sure. Kind of wish they had done a little bit more.
I always dread that section. Like when I always replay Leon's route. I don't know why. He's like my favorite character. I only just recently played through Claire's route, which I think out of the two routes, Claire's is scarier because you have to play as Sherry in one of these sections. Oh yeah,
that's right, the Sherry section. I have not seen that very much because
it is
I've only
nightmare.
Seen it once. Yeah.
It is
the crawling around
probably
in there.
One of the scariest. Yeah. God, have mercy on my soul. That was too much for me.
I've totally forgot about that.
My God.
But then it's kind of funny because whenever you do Leon's route, she's just there at the end, and you're like, "Who's that?" Like,
yeah.
If you don't know who Sherry
when
is,
you
then
pick up a child,
it's just like, why does she just? Who spawned that child? Like, why is that there? But I don't know. It's. I feel like with 3, they had a lot they could have probably done.
Oh yeah.
It was a good one still, I think. And this is just me watching. Like, what do I know? I just watched people.
I had fun playing 3.
But
the thing is 3 was fun to play, but compared to OG 3, Nemesis was way scarier because he worked on the same tracking system
as
Mr. X, basically.
And then that's what I expected they would do, but they didn't.
All around. Me too. It was they said it was one of the B studios of Capcom that worked on it.
Oh.
So.
Well, I mean, they could have probably.
It wasn't the same people who made 2.
It's interesting though, because there's still that parallel of the fact that when you compare the original 2 and 3, it's. I don't know how many people would pick 3 over 2 necessarily because they're so similar. But they're still good games, obviously. But you're just Jill Valentine in one of them instead. So I don't know what difference that really makes. And I feel like they did a good job of presenting the story in RE3 Remake. I think probably better than the original did. But
yeah,
I don't think it's scary. Like that one is legitimately barely
I
scary.
feel like
at
that's
all.
more action oriented.
Yeah,
RE3 is
like not dialed up to the crazy degree of 6 or anything, but like
yeah, no.
a little closer to like 5 or 6 or something, maybe even 4, because 4 is obviously also very much an action game.
Yeah.
But
4 is, I think, of the remakes that I've played, I think play-wise, 4 is my favorite.
It seems so
Story-wise,
fun.
Resident Evil 2 will always be.
I actually still
It
want
is
to play
a
it
lot of fun.
because that's
Definitely recommend that one.
yeah, that's one of the
It is a lot of fun
differences.
to play.
Sometimes I'll obviously I've watched a ton of people play a ton of different horror games, but most of the time, once I've seen it once, it's like, all right, well, that's it. I can't really play this anymore because I've seen all of the scares, I've seen everything. But there's like there's one game in one series where I do feel like I could actually go back and play them and have fun, and that's Resident Evil and Mortuary Assistant. Because
Ooh, I want to play Mortuary Assistant.
yeah, it
It looks so good.
does look really good.
I've seen so many playthroughs.
Yeah, and the scares are never all the same, so you know, it's not actually going to be the same game every single time unless you literally sit there and watch every ending. I try to avoid doing that. 'Cause
Yeah.
usually one person is just going to play once and get one ending. Not always.
That's how I do with the Dark Pictures anthology, those games.
Yeah.
Because they're basically like horror movies you get to pick the choices of.
That one, I actually, I wish I had probably,
I watch
I
I watch all the endings.
yeah, I have to sometimes because I just don't think, other than the Quarry, I've seen people play the Quarry a ton. I've seen a ton of playthroughs, and I've seen a ton of playthroughs of Until Dawn, but some of the ones in the middle I can't really
Yeah.
rewatch as much. It's not that they're not as good, but it's just like they all kind of funnel towards a really samey ending. But Until Dawn,
Some of them are
very
just
different.
kind of bleh. Yes, Until Dawn I think is, of those genre of games, it was the first and it is still probably my favorite.
I think it still is like leaps and bounds better than the other ones. I think the Quarry is like the second best one. But
Which is so weird because it's the same people
Yeah.
who make all those games. So it's like,
So you
what
would
happened?
think-
They put all of their effort into The Quarry,
yeah,
which was really good. I like that one. But the 3 other Dark Picture anthology games, 3 or 4, I think now,
yeah.
some of them were good, but some of them were like hot garbage.
Okay, the devil in me is like dumpster level. I don't know what happened there. I don't know what happened. Like, I think it's mostly because it was so buggy that it genuinely didn't function most of the time. And so you're just
Yeah.
dealing with a buggy mess. And most of the people are just laughing at all the bugs. You can't do anything with that.
And some of the story is just so freaking weird. Like, I got mad playing Man of Medan because the ending, I won't spoil it, but I was like, really? Really?
Yeah, I've seen
What
all
do
the
you
endings
mean
to
this
that
is
one.
the ending?
And it's like, I think maybe that
Like
one's
the
a bit
cause
more
of
of
the
a
spooks.
slap in the face because there were very few likable characters. Like, I get doing that from a horror game standpoint of like, it makes it kind of like okay when bad things happen to them because you're like, this person's sad. Oh, who cares? Whatever. But then with that one, it's just like, it doesn't even feel like much of a payoff when they get out because of certain things. And so I don't know. I don't know with that one. And I don't really feel as though, well, there was that Village one. What was that one?
Little Hope. I
Yeah,
think.
Little Hope.
Right? That one?
I think that
That
one.
one. The ending was more interesting on that one.
It was interesting.
Also, sort of it was also sort of a slap in the face, depending on what ending you
Yeah,
got.
it was. I definitely watched people get all of those endings, and it's interesting. Question mark. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't like the like making us think it's paranormal horror and then being like, joke's on you, it's something else completely
Yeah.
different.
And they did that no less than 3 different times because they oscillated between like 3 different time periods of stuff happening and trying to bait you into thinking one thing or another. I don't even really know if it was paranormal or not in the end because they were just like,
I don't think it was.
I don't know. But
it was so
it's
Little
like
Hope,
there were
I think, was my
moments
least
where things
favorite
would
one.
happen and then it would just be like, but then is this really real or not real? And there's ways to play with reality warping stuff that I think are probably a bit more interesting than how they did it. So I don't know.
And it sucks because like I love the concept of the Dark Pictures anthology, and I also love the main guy, the curator, who you meet at like in between things. He's my favorite character.
Yeah.
I love him. He's so spooky. He's got his big old library, and he talks all cryptic like and gives you hints.
Yeah,
I think that's really cool.
It makes everything into like kind of a show of sorts. And I think that's a cool way to present a horror game. But they just didn't.
They need better stories, I feel, is like the issue.
It's like he's starting at the bottom of the shelf, like where all the weird stuff was put. And there was only one of them. And I mean, it was before it was known as the Dark Pictures, but I still feel like the only one that counts as the best one is Until Dawn. I don't know.
Until Dawn was very good, yeah.
And even
I'm hoping
it's like it had
its moments.
It had its moments. I think probably like the start of the game is maybe like the worst bit of it, but everything picks up to the point of by the end of it you're rooting for everybody, even Emily.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Even
yes.
Emily.
Even Emily. The ending is so like crazy, like the
so
most intense I've felt.
Yeah.
Gosh, not having to shake your remote.
Yeah.
Even though I'm like, oh, I'm so scared.
I still feel like, even though I've seen so much of that, it would be fun to just like, you know, do the couch co-op with that and like hand off the controller to people. Obviously, that's not feasible through collabs and things like that. But I think I really wish that Until Dawn was made at the point in which you could do that online, because
I'm curious if they've updated it, because I know that they have it on the PlayStation 5 now.
Yeah.
And like all of the other Dark Picture anthology games have those like play online with your friends.
Yeah. But it's so weird though, because their presentation of it is very strange. So if you're just watching one POV of that multiplayer mode, then just entire chunks of the story are missing.
What? I would think they would switch off. That's so weird.
It just doesn't show you the other part of what other people are doing. And so it's just kind of awkward. Like you do half the story and you're next to each other and you have to like tell each other what to do.
Like, hey, I took this over here.
Yeah, and I think they don't mention that that's how you're supposed to do it, because so many times people will just be saying like, oh, I got this cutscene. Oh, I got this cutscene. And they're not really like working together, to just both watching half of the story. And then sometimes
so
they'll watch the same
weird.
cutscene when they intervene. It's like, you could have done this so much better. Like, have everyone in the same scene, but you're just able to control different characters.
Yeah. Do it the way that they do the couch co-op, where you pass the remote around.
Yeah. Like, I feel like that just makes more sense. And there's probably people who will just do that anyway. But some of the later ones, they're really, really strangely cut up. I think they started doing that after Little Hope, though. Because I think Little Hope still kind of made sense, watched from both perspectives. I think.
Gosh, I just like horror games a lot. I don't know why. I'm a scaredy cat too, so it's like everything spooks me.
Yeah. I don't even know that I would. Well, okay, when I was trying to play those games, I did get scared a fair bit. And there was some stuff where it was just like, oh man, this is really suspenseful. And it's like a good use of it, but not necessarily like going into crazy. I don't know. I guess I've never really liked the grotesqueness, the grotesque aspects of horror, but
So you would not be a fan of like the Saw movies?
no. Well, that's
Which I
just
think
that's torture
Lofa
porn.
said.
Like that's Saw is crazy, and I don't think it's even good.
Funny story with Saw is, it was like, I want to say I was like 15, and my parents were like, "You're gonna stay at grandma's house for like 2 weeks during summer
Oh, no.
because we're gonna go on vacation." And I was like, "I hate everyone. To spite all of you, I'm gonna download every single Saw movie and watch it alone in the room by myself."
Okay, so, so
My
you hit your
dumb
head on the
little
wall,
kid brain.
basically, and said, "This'll hurt him."
Basically, I was like, I'm going to be a bad child and watch horror movies. And then I couldn't sleep because I was like, oh my gosh, I just saw a man get his like arm cut off. That was horrifying.
It's like, oh man, oh
then I
no,
got-
the horror was horrifying. Isn't that crazy?
But then I ended up getting like really into the story of it, and I was like, this story is so hot garbage, but I want to know what happened.
I mean, I guess that's how it starts. Eventually.
Yeah, I've watched all of them except for the 2 new ones.
Hmm.
Which apparently there's a third one that came out this year that I didn't even know it came out.
Oh, didn't they do some weird reboot or something?
I think so. They called it Saw 10, and I was like, "There's 10 movies, really?"
Oh no, that's,
Whoa.
yeah, that's way too much.
Mm.
I don't know.
I watched the Five Nights at Freddy's movie recently. I want to do a watch party with everyone.
I'm
'Cause
curious.
It's on Peacock.
Oh,
It's like, I don't know how to explain. If you were a fan as like growing up with Five Nights at Freddy's,
Mhm.
you'll be like, "That's cool. I like that Easter egg. The story is garbage, but I love that thing over there."
yeah. Oh wait, hold on. This stupid thing is not working again.
Oh no.
I don't know what's with that. Is it literally just the... Did I do something wrong here? Because I think I changed something recently. I don't know. Okay. I will preface this by saying I would never suggest that anyone else does this, but I honestly leave my PC on way too much. And
For how long? Like days straight?
yes, we're talking
No.
sometimes
Oh no.
weeks, but
Oh my gosh.
we're talking
Leno.
sometimes months. But
No. Don't say it.
but here's my thinking sometimes. Nothing goes wrong when everything is done a certain way.
It's-
Okay, this is so strange because I just turned this off the other day, or I just turned this down the other day because it was too sensitive. But now it's just not detecting at all sometimes. Okay, I think that was it. And because that part is being cut out, nobody will ever know that I leave my computer on. But
Archie, leave this in. Leave this in. He admitted it.
but no, I know I shouldn't do that, but part of what I get nervous about is there was this stretch of time in which any single time I would turn off the PC and turn it on, it would blue screen. And
Ooh.
I later figured out that was one of my hard drives dying. So I took that thing out,
Ooh.
and most of that has been better since then. But I don't know. I just like leaving things the same. I don't like Windows updates. I don't like updating programs. I don't like any of that stuff.
No, I'm very like, I turn down my PC every time I leave my office. I'm just like scared of fires. It's like my
Oh.
main thing.
Well, yeah. I guess I probably should be more, huh?
Yeah, it's like the power supply is like the thing I'm scared of because if that thing is left on for too long and it overheats, it can start a really like an electrical fire, and I'm not about that.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh,
I should probably be more wary of that. I mean, it's also like consuming power when I'm not even there. So that's
yeah.
not.
Do you have it plugged in directly to the wall, or do you have it plugged into like a power strip?
Uh, I should not send a picture of this to you because there's a lot of wires back there, and
I have a lot of wires too.
The-
My desk is a mess.
the what's it called again? The power splitter
The power
thing.
strip?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess the surge protector as well, because
Yeah, surge protector.
yeah, it's
That's
nearly
very
full.
important.
It's nearly full.
Okay.
of
I'm like looking at mine. I think I have like some chargers plugged into it that
could probably
aren't
be
plugged
removed.
into anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could probably take them off.
The only reason that mine isn't full is because I got a desk that I plugged in that has like outlets on top of it, kind of like a college school desk sort of thing.
Hmm.
But
My desk is 2 desks combined.
mine too, but I bought the other one later and a couple of years ago. I still remember putting it together because I remember there was like a Speak of the Devil episode that I was watching at the time. And there was
Cool.
yeah. It was I remember which one it was, but the other desk is just right next to mine, and sometimes during certain months of the year will just become the junk desk. And I was realizing that the other day of like looking over it, like, oh no, it's the junk desk again. I need to clear this off. So I have a lot of wide space. It's just I know that I don't use it. So
I need more like length, is it? No, maybe width of the desk.
probably, yeah.
Yeah. For my drawing tablet, because I keep my drawing tablet on my desk.
See,
But my monitor is one of those dumb monitors where the
no.
stand is like wide pronged, so it takes up like a stupid amount of room, and I hate
I
it.
have that now. It's so dumb. I need to buy a different stand. It's like, it's so bad. I don't know why they
Yes.
did
Why do
that.
they make it like that?
It's very strange.
Like my other monitor is totally fine. It's got like a circle one, but I can still put stuff on top of it. So
Thankfully, I mean, obviously you can buy aftermarket stuff for it. And I really need
Yeah.
to. I'm going to send a picture of the setup though. I know I've sent one recently, but some stuff has changed. I think,
did you get more standees, more of the acrylics?
oh, the wall changed.
Oh.
Yep. The wall changed actually a fair bit.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because I realized there were 5 posters that I just had rolled up still. Oh, wait, hold on. That's the wrong picture. Hold on.
I love the
Just a
duckies
close-up.
on the Iron Mouse one.
Oh, the what?
Those are so the little duckies on the Iron Mouse poster.
Yeah.
Those are so cute.
But no, that's actually the whole setup right there.
Oh dang.
A little insane looking, but it definitely works. I like
I
the...
can tell your 2 favorite VTubers.
Oh, gee, what gave you that idea?
I wonder who.
Very odd there. I mean, I guess... should I put this on screen? I don't know. I mean, there's nothing like... Oh, well, I'm not going to put it on screen.
Just don't. I was gonna say, don't accidentally dox yourself, please.
Well, not even that. I just noticed that I didn't close the trash can underneath. Literally, there's always something. I always forget to do something that tips people off of the fact that I don't think of stuff sometimes. I mean, I don't have to come off in a certain way, but you know, I mean, if I'm already here, I'm already a VTuber. People are they're going to expect some level of insanity, I guess. I don't know, scuffedness.
Scuffedness, definitely.
Lack of
That is my.
of awareness. I don't know. I do need to take
For me,
that
it's
trash
just
out.
wires all over my desk because I don't know what to do with them.
Oh
And
yeah,
Pokemon cards.
the back of my PC is actually horrifying. There's not like
I
wires
pushed them
everywhere.
all behind my desk so I don't have to see them.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably a good enough reason not to keep your computer on too long. See, I think my problem is mostly I have trouble sleeping a lot of the time, so I'll end up putting on some sort of VOD or something like that, or just watching somebody that's streaming late. And then,
I do that a lot. I do VODs
yeah.
or like podcasts.
yeah, for sure. I think I'm at that point. I've finally reached the point where if there is a podcast that I am watching at all, I will sleep. It's just inevitable. If it's after a certain point, I'm gonna start sleeping.
It's hardwired in your brain.
Yeah.
Podcast equals sleep.
Yep. And I think it's all of those. Well, I mean, I used to watch like comedian podcasts and stuff like that, but I think I just sort of got tired of comedy stuff, and then because I was trying to get away from a lot of political stuff for a while,
Yeah.
because I felt like I was consuming that, or consuming my life with that, and not paying attention to my own life. There was definitely a point in time where I did not think of anything other than politics, and it
I
was just
stopped
like,
watching the news recently because of that. I'm like,
yeah,
too much sad stuff is happening, and my anxiety is already peak enough.
yeah.
Like,
And I know that obviously it's very important to, stay informed and to know where you stand on certain things, but 24/7, it can turn into an exhaustion that just does not include yourself at all. And
yeah.
I need to exist, unfortunately. So I have to do things like that in order to ensure that I'm not like just going nuts over something that I can't fully control. And
Yeah.
the most that I can do is control myself. So that's what I choose to spend my energy on for the most part.
Very, very true. I used to watch the Philip DeFranco show like every day. That was like my thing whenever it was out, so I could keep up to date with the news. But I want to say the past month, like October, stuff was just getting really heavy, and I was like, I need to
Yeah.
I need a little break from the news. I'm getting too sad,
Yeah.
and it's not good for my emotions right now.
Yeah. I do feel like there's a degree to which everything has sort of become juggling a bunch of different feeds in terms of just what you want to
Yeah.
see or what you want to do. And I'm so glad I'm not into TikTok, because I feel like that would start to consume my life if I were to try and start that one.
TikTok is dangerous. I go on TikTok once a month to watch all the TikToks my sister sends me, and then I'll scroll on the For You page for like 6 hours.
Oh, no.
It is bad.
Yeah, no, it's
That is why I don't open that app very often, because then you get caught in like a scrolling, just like, oh, this looks cool. Oh, hey, this is another cool thing.
yeah. Once it actually starts to pick up stuff that you want to see, it's scary. Because for a while, even with YouTube, I had to install an extension a very long time ago that completely removed the grid of different videos that pops up at the end. I had to remove
Yeah.
that because I would just start
know.
clicking on random YouTube videos, and I had to remove the sidebar as well that just like lists a bunch of different stuff. I had to make sure that YouTube was the thing where all I do on it is go search for a specific video and then leave. Like that had to be it for me.
I watch YouTube, I think, more than actual like television stuff, just
Yeah.
because I really like video essays.
Yeah,
When
those are
people talk
those
about
are super
like
nice.
things they love.
want
And
to.
then I always click on, I'm like, ooh, this person made a video essay about this same exact thing. Let me see their opinions on it.
It kind of seems like. I feel like if I were to make content of some sort other than just streaming, and then trying to desperately add that into something of value, but if I were to do something, I would want to do videos like that. I do feel like I have the voice for it as well, but I don't know what I would say is the biggest problem. Like there's stuff I could ramble on, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't written
That's the thing is like with video essays, I'm like, I was like in AP English in school and stuff, so we had to write essays all the time, and I actually enjoy writing essays. It's weird.
Yeah,
So like
believe it or not, I
could
agree.
write an essay. I could write an essay on like a favorite topic of mine, and then just read it. But I'm always like, I don't have the time to do that.
See,
Essay writing takes a lot of time.
there is one that I really want to find that I wrote in middle school that was about sarcasm. And I know that it is probably the most insufferable paper that exists. And I
Oh my
want to
gosh.
see it again because I want to know how bad it is. I would love to read that out.
I still have like all of my old essays from school. They're all in my Gmail.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I guess I never really even made one of those until becoming VTuber, actually. I always stuck with
Really?
Hotmail. But
Oh, I had
because
a
it was-
Hotmail
yeah,
too.
it was just that old. I don't have an AOL one though. That's way
No,
too
I don't
far
have
back.
AOL.
I mean, I have one, I'm
Yeah, that's-
sure. But it was probably like the
No.
family one.
Gosh, I remember there was a horror game growing up when I was like probably 10.
Mhm.
I remember seeing commercials for it. It was like online horror game, only accessible at midnight.
Oh,
And it would only let you play when it was midnight where you lived and until it hit like 6 a.m. And I cannot for the life of me find the game. But I remember being so terrified of the commercials because it was like a monster hunting you and you played with friends and stuff.
I mean, that sounds like a cool idea for sure. I feel like they could bring that back and do pretty well.
Honestly, I just like the idea that they made it to where you could only play it when it was dark
Yeah,
for like where you lived.
that's cool. I mean, or that seems like because I don't think I recognize the commercial or anything that you're talking about with it, but just honestly as a concept, I feel like that stands alone pretty well, especially with the narrower time for opening just means like it would create a need for people to think,
Yeah.
oh, it's this time, I need to do this. So they
I
do
remember
well.
going to the website and putting my mom's email in and then getting yelled at by my mom because she's like, "What are you doing? Why are you playing this kind of spooky game?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Mom, I didn't even play it yet. I was just signing up."
There's no way they
sorry.
wouldn't realize that that you're playing it, that it would send an email.
I know. It was just,
I mean,
it was just literally the sign up thing. Like, you made an account, verify it.
yeah. I think I tried to limit usage. Well, you know what? No, that's not true. I was thinking of what it was. There was a specific game that I used to. I never like used it without permission or anything, but I would ask my mom to buy point cards for this MMO that I used to play, and there must have been like I must have made her spend like at least $300 on that game over time because it was just
Over
like
time,
I would
dude.
ask for like $20 cards and stuff, and then I would just get like cosmetic stuff with it. And let me
Me
tell
with
you, I never
Neopets.
got any better.
Oh no!
I never got any better. Once I started getting my own money, it only got worse.
Oh gosh. That was me with Neopets and like RuneScape. I loved RuneScape.
Oh, see, I never got a chance to play RuneScape. Or I guess I just didn't know about it when it was happening, because I think because of the existence of World of Warcraft, I assumed that RuneScape was a paid thing.
Yeah.
Was it?
No, RuneScape was free. I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was free.
If it was always
I got
free,
into it in like 5th grade. I remember my friends were all playing it.
yeah, I think I just didn't really know the concept of a free-to-play game until the game that I started playing, but I just didn't look at RuneScape yet. So I found, or the one I was playing was called Fiesta Online, and it was like,
That sounds familiar.
huh? Familiar?
I said that sounds familiar. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be. I know that it was called Bright Kingdom in Korean, but oddly enough, it's actually still around. I don't know why, but it's still around.
Do you remember your login to it?
I have logged into it. I think I logged into it because they were transferring companies, because one of the companies one of the publishing companies dropped it. And so it went over to like the EU publisher, and they just have it now. But I think my characters might be gone by now. I'm not too sure.
Oh no!
I
logged into my old RuneScape account.
Oh,
They
wow.
ported it over to the new. Because when I was playing, it was like, I want to say it was classic or it was old school. But they ported it over to like the new RuneScape, and I still have all my items.
Yeah, that is crazy.
I'm like, they're from like 2008. I remember playing it.
I think I did log in, and I think I looked at my items, and I just felt like it was so foreign to me because I started playing that game in like 2009. I don't remember 2022 by this point. It was just so strange to look at, and I didn't know what I was doing anymore. I didn't know what I could do. Just about any game that I try to play from back then, because I definitely went to a lot of free-to-play games, a whole lot of free-to-play MMOs, and a few of them, I'm guessing probably most of them are shut down by now, but some of them that are there, I would completely lose track because I would just get obsessed for a while, and then I would find the shiny new thing and I would leave. It was
Very, very true. I would do the same.
Yeah. And I just didn't want to spend money, but then I was very hypocritical because I would just ask my mom to spend money instead. So
you like MMOs. Do you like regular RPGs? Or
absolutely.
What are some of your favorites?
Well, JRPGs are mostly my favorite. I don't think I've really played a ton of the Western ones, but when it comes to Final Fantasy, I had like a sort of strange back entrance into that series, because technically I could have played some of them earlier on in life, but I just never did. I never really tried a lot of the original ones until maybe 2011 or something on the PSP. And that was not the best way to experience them, because I only played Final Fantasy VII for like a little bit, and then I thought, and then I played Final Fantasy VIII for actually a lot longer than 7, but then I thought, and I left it. And I liked where 9 was going. I thought that one was really cool, but I still didn't play it. So eventually, Final Fantasy 13 was my first one, and I actually liked it a lot, but I didn't finish it.
Oh no!
So if you're sensing a theme here, there's actually a ton of JRPGs that are outside of my favorite series that I played but just did not finish. What?
I feel like that's how I am with games in general. There are a lot of games I've played and I enjoyed, but then I'm like, wait, something else came out, so let me play this instead.
Yeah, for sure. Wait, so were you saying that in reference to you also liking RPGs or no?
I like RPGs. I've played some JRPGs, but I tend to play a lot of RPGs like the Fallout series. I want to say like my favorite. I liked Red Dead Redemption, the first one.
You know, I guess I never really thought about it, but I guess that is an RPG, huh?
Yeah.
I never really even thought.
I've been playing the second one.
Hmm.
It's okay. It was just the first mission took like 2 hours to finish,
Oh,
which
no.
I was like, I want to get to the open world, please.
Mm-hmm.
It took a while, but yeah, Fallout New Vegas is my favorite. I want to say RPG of all time.
So did
It's a
you get
lot of fun.
into Mass Effect at all?
Yes, I got into Mass Effect purely because I have an older brother, and we used to share a room when we were smaller.
Mm-hmm.
And
So you hate him?
He got no,
Okay. Sorry, go on.
maybe a little bit. No, but he used to play like all of the video games on, I want to say, the PlayStation 3, the PlayStation 2,
Mm-hmm.
and I think he had an Xbox One.
Oh, really?
But I watched him play through all of the Mass Effect games.
Nice.
It was like it's like Let's Plays, but it's my brother playing the game, and I'm just watching the story.
Yeah.
unfold.
See, I was that brother for my older sisters because they initially didn't really play like JRPGs and stuff, but they would watch me play them, and they would just be, you know, commenting along the way, and we'd just be talking and stuff and hanging out playing the game. Some of them were multiplayer, as the Tales series has like multiplayer games, except for the most recent one, which was very disappointing. But it's a good game. It just doesn't have multiplayer, which is disappointing. But it was for stuff like that. I think almost that kind of prepared me for the idea of streaming in general, because I never really wanted to, but then when I thought about the experience of like somebody else being behind and just like commenting and talking about it, it always just seems way more fun than, you know, doing it just by yourself.
Yeah. Definitely. It was my brother playing a lot of the games, mainly because I used to like be a big like player of video games during the PlayStation 2 era, but my brother had this cheeky trick because I was like really small at the time.
Oh.
I was like probably like 6 or 7, and he would go in after I would play like a bunch of Jak and Daxter, and he would delete my save.
Oh, come
And then,
on.
and then he would tell me, "Oh, your save corrupted. That sucks."
That's so
because
mean.
he was trying to whittle me down to the point where I would just get mad and be like, "I don't even want to play game anymore." Because my mom had it where like she would have us like, okay, you both want to play game on the PlayStation 2.
Oh, you had to
get an
take
hour,
turns.
and then you get an hour.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. No,
So-
I'm on board with your brother again. That's actually pretty genius.
No, that's sabotage. I was 6. I was so evil.
Yeah, no.
It got to the point where I was speed running Jak and Daxter before I even know what speed running was. It was just because I was like, I need to get further than I did last time in case it corrupts again.
Yeah, that is interesting though. I still remember the horror of having a family computer, but then having somebody else that had a game that they wanted to play, because my mom used to play Farmville quite a bit.
Oh my gosh,
she
I
was-
played Farmville too.
Yeah, no, she was OG though, because she played that for like 10 years. She did not stop
my
when people
gosh,
stopped.
dang.
Like she just always kept going up until the end of that game. Like Flash had to die for her to stop playing that game.
Oh my gosh.
That game lasted through like thick and thin for her, and I think maybe when it died, she finally kind of understood some of my whole thing about games in general, because you know, obviously there's going to be like a disconnect sometimes of like, why do you play so much games? Why do you play this so much? But then like she played it for 10 years. So she understood that there was like, there were
crazy.
so many memories attached to that game for her and for, you know, some of the people that she played with or would regularly trade with or some stuff like that. And even the fact that there's some other sequel to it now, she was just thinking like, it's just not going to be the same. And so she she didn't really go to the sequels or anything. She just left. And I've had MMOs shut down and stuff like that, and ones that I was actively playing, not really, but it's just always devastating when like a live service game goes down and you're just left with like nothing.
With
like
nothing. Yeah.
this was
I
all for
understand the
nothing.
feel.
But it was fun.
That was me with Club Penguin.
Oh, really?
Even though
Yeah.
it's been years. It had been years since I played, and then I heard it was shutting down. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
my childhood. You can't do that.
It's so sad. But unfortunately, like that's the corner we've backed ourselves into because servers can't pay for themselves. Like eventually you have to find out.
With like, my fear with just digital games and in general, like digital download games or
Yeah.
like eShop only games. When those services shut down, they're just gone forever.
I sure hope Steam doesn't shut down, but it's like,
Oh gosh,
yeah, that's a horrifying thought at this point. But I
I have
think
like 132 games.
it's so cemented into everything now that I feel like it would have to take like the entire company would have to be deleted.
Would have to bomb.
Like
Yeah.
they would have to like what could they even do at this point to stop making money? I can't even imagine. Like they're able to take some
they-
off the top of every purchase of, you know, people have to host their games on there, and obviously that's not that hard because of how many. There's got to be at least over 1 million games on there by now. Like, and if nothing
definitely.
else, it's definitely in the hundreds of thousands. But I never would have thought there'd be a platform that's this universal in terms of PC games, because I used to get my games via someone buying a 100 games CD with a bunch of shareware on it, and we would just like
Oh, geez.
sift through it and see like, oh, this one works, oh, this one doesn't work. And that's just what Steam feels like at this point.
I remember my first like computer games were like Pajama Sam.
I remember that one.
What's the other one? Putt Putt.
Remember that one.
Freddy Fish. They're all like edutainment games.
Yeah, like Math
Those were my
Blaster and
favorites.
stuff.
Yes, Math Blasters.
You
I loved that one.
that
Jumpstart, all those games.
yeah, the Jumpstart games. I think I also remember there were some of the DOS games and stuff were amazing, like Jazz Jackrabbit. I still love that one, but
There was a game called Clue Finders. That was like edutainment, but for older kids.
I don't remember that one.
I
remember Carmen
remember, I
Sandiego.
want to say, oh yes, that one too. There was the 3rd grade or maybe the 4th grade version
Mm-hmm.
was like The Mystery of Mathra, which was basically this big old monster bird that like dealt with math. And the music in that game was killer. It had no reason to be so good.
Nice.
Like, I need to send you one of the songs because it's actually really catchy.
Mhm.
It's like, it's crazy. I replayed it recently just for fun, and I was tripping out. I was like, what? When did this exist?
I think probably one of the earliest games that I played was Line Rider. Just in like
Oh my gosh, I remember that.
middle school classrooms and stuff.
Did you ever play like, what are they? Like, I can't remember the name of it. It was like cool math games, but it was a different website, and it just had all Flash games.
Not Newgrounds. Oh man, there
No,
were
it
so
started
many
with an A, but I can't remember it.
amazing games.
Maybe?
That sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Oh, that does sound familiar. Let me look it up. Let me just see.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you 2 songs from this from this game because they're both really good and they have no reason to be that good.
Oh wait, Amazing Games old website. Wait, no, I had it, but then does it actually still exist? No, it doesn't, and it redirected me. I'm probably getting a virus.
I was gonna say. Oh no.
Okay, my desktop audio isn't capturing, so I can listen to this. I think, unless it
catches.
unless somehow.
I'm sure you won't get copyrighted with freaking music from a game that I don't even know how old it is. These games they gave to us, I remember in elementary school for during summer school. I hated summer school. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
It was the worst. Especially growing up in California, it was like hellfire.
Yeah, I had summer school for 2 separate summers just for I mean, I guess, well, in my case it was because I failed 2 classes, and so I had to like make up for it. It was in middle school, I think. But I feel like all it really accomplished was helping me get to know the kids that were in there better. So I kind of appreciated it in a sense, but I definitely hated having to go to school during the summer. So that
our summer school was like, it was only a month long, and it was to prepare you for, you know, the grade you're going into.
Yeah, no, we didn't have anything like that.
Signed me up for it, and I was like, why? Do you hate me, parents? Okay.
I don't really feel like that's worth it, honestly. But I don't know.
No, it was not.
I mean, I also didn't go to preschool, so I just feel like any of the... Just get the real thing over with. It's going to be fine.
Yeah.
You're going to adjust. It's not that serious either. But I mean, I also didn't really have much of a... I never went to a different school. I never had the experience of transferring like that, so who knows?
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was all just one school for me until college,
like
of course.
First through, okay, I was gonna say like first through 12 or like
no, not all the way into college. I don't think.
Okay.
I don't know if they do that, but I don't think they do that. I don't think they should, honestly. That would be very sheltering for the people involved. And I already felt that way just going to one school the whole time. It's like I never really got much of a chance to meet different people unless they were new to the class. And then once they were new to the class, they would get swept up by like a bunch of different people. So it was all odd.
Was it a small town? Is that why? Or no?
No, it was just a private school. Because I'm secretly rich. I don't know if you knew that or not. This is not an actual thing, by the way. We just had a lot of nice people helping us out. I say this because my sisters also went to that same school. So they, you know, we were just, we wanted to make sure that we had an education, and it was very important. And I repaid that kindness by staying on MMOs and not doing my homework, and then having to go to 2 different summer schools.
Oh no.
But you know, I mean, for that to be the worst thing that I did during that time, I mean, I'm doing a lot better than a lot of other people, I think.
I was gonna say,
it's like, ooh, he was bad, he didn't do his homework.
Oh my gosh.
There are some people who had murdered people by that time.
Yeah, who have done a lot worse. My first school I went to in like, I want to say from 1st to 5th grade before I moved to like where I am now. That school was kind of like, I don't want to say it was sketch. It was a nice school, but the area nearby was not very nice.
Yeah.
We had like the police officer come in and be like, don't be stupid or you're going to see me in front of you while you're behind bars. And we were like, okay. Oh, we're
okay.
like, whoa.
Yeah, I don't really know the scare tactics, but It's like, it's a little silly.
Yeah, they were very. I remember as a kid getting so scared, like, ah, even though I'm like, I've never done anything. I've never so much even gotten like a ticket of any sort.
Yeah.
But one time, a police officer like came up to me when I was walking with a friend. It was like midnight, and I was in high school, and he's like, "Hey, girls, you know you guys have a curfew," and I was like,
come
"What?
on.
We have curfew?" And he's like, "Yeah, kids aren't allowed to be out. I think until after." When it hits 10, you're supposed to be inside. And I was like, is that a thing? Is that really a thing?
I mean, that kind of sounds wrong. But
I was so confused. I was like, we're just walking to my friend's house because she lived like down the street from me.
I still
It was
remember
weird.
there was like, so I will say something that's probably carried over to now is that I don't really know how to initiate hanging out with people. So oftentimes, back in the day, somebody would have to invite me over to their house. But I learned eventually that you have to actually ask. But I learned it by the time I was in, or like middle school was already starting. So it was kind of too late a little bit. Like those play dates and hangouts and things like that never really occurred in high school because everyone was too cool for that then. And it would be stuff like parties. They would start calling it parties. And then I would get scared of that because it's like, well, I don't want to party. I just want to hang out. So
I just want to play video games at someone's house.
Exactly.
Like, what?
And there were people that I had that with a little bit. I mean, there was probably one person whose house I went to the most, and they still, I went to their, well, I mean, okay. I didn't exactly get to go to their wedding because it was during COVID. But,
oh no.
yeah. But I mean, I got to watch a live stream of their wedding. That's so depressing.
That is so sad.
It's so depressing.
Oh my gosh.
But I mean,
God.
it was enough that they invited me. So it's like, you know, good for them. I don't know if they got sick afterwards or not.
I mean, at least it wasn't like, because I had to, one of my relatives passed away during COVID,
Yeah.
and we had to attend their funeral through a live stream.
Yeah, no, it's
And it was
so
so
sad.
depressing.
It's
I was
like,
like, this feels wrong.
it's so
It
wrong.
feels bad.
And I don't even know, like, obviously, yes, gathering during the time was a terrible thing to do, but there's some
Yeah.
things like that where it's like, so we're just gonna not do this? We're not going to meet and have funerals? Yes, you're not. That's
There were-
exactly
There
it.
were some
But I mean,
Yeah,
some
I
people still would.
someone at my work, because I used to work for the county, and the way like the county where I am it works is like you work for a specific department, but if they need people, they can transfer you to work to other places. So I worked with like daycare with kids, but during COVID, we didn't have anything to do.
Oh,
So they called us in to just deep clean
Oh,
the classroom.
I hate that
So we did
much.
that for a little bit. And then after, they transferred us to our zoo, because our zoo is run by the county.
Mm-hmm.
And when they transferred us to the zoo, there was like an older lady there who had like a daughter who was like 21, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Or she was turning 21. And she invited everyone to a birthday party for her daughter.
Oh no!
And we were like, we're in the middle of COVID.
How?
Why
It's
are
like-
you having a party? And of course, none of us went because we're all responsible adults. But she hosted that party for her daughter. She went. She came back. She got COVID.
Of course.
She gave the entire staff of the zoo COVID. Thankfully, I did not get it because they had transferred me back. But a lot of our zoo staff are like ladies who are older and retired. So we ended up losing half of our staff.
Oh my goodness!
Like they passed away.
that
was
is
horrible.
crazy.
All
All
because
because
one
of a
person.
birthday party.
Yeah, so I'm like, it was so frustrating because like so many of those ladies I remember when I was in middle school, because they would volunteer at the middle school, and like one of them used to teach like knitting. One of them used to teach you how to crochet or sew. So it was like terrible, you know? Losing that many people, all because of one person. They couldn't wait to celebrate their 21st birthday. Like,
at that point, just wait till you're 24 to celebrate your 21st birthday. If it's going to save people's lives, I feel like maybe that's worth it.
Literally, the day we went into lockdown was my birthday.
Oh no.
And I had originally planned to have a bunch of college friends come up and visit, and we were gonna like hang out and party. But then I was like, nah, cancel it, man. I ain't risking this. I'm not getting sick.
I still remember the day that there was actually a different friend's wedding, like a family friend's wedding in February. And we went to it because we didn't even know that COVID had come to the United States yet. Yeah. We didn't also know the fact that it was in the United States since December. But it wasn't really like taken seriously until February. So we we attended that wedding like it was nothing, and we didn't get sick at the time. But I think some of us did. And it was before there were like regular tests and things like that.
So like no one knew what it was. So, it was like a mystery illness.
So yeah, they just got sick, and it was just like, oh, I guess we got sick. We gathered in a place when we got sick. I didn't get sick at the time, but it was like they didn't know about it because they genuinely weren't even talking about it very much until maybe like February.
It was like February, beginning of March, because I remember my mom was literally at Vaughn's like, I was going to buy your cake, but I got the notice that we're going in lockdown.
Yeah,
and I was like, okay.
It's such a wild thing to even think about, because I know that now, obviously, we're going into 2024 sometime tomorrow, but it's one of those adjustments that it still doesn't feel like any of that was real. And at the same time, I remember like every second of it and none of it at the same time. And it feels like it happened to a different person.
I remember playing so much Animal Crossing during that time.
Yeah.
I was sadly playing Animal Crossing and texting my friends and being like, I miss you guys.
No, I had the advantage probably of not really hanging out with people very much to begin with, which is hard to call an advantage, but it's like I didn't feel any extra loneliness, I suppose, because it's not something that I've really participated in, like going out and hanging out with people. And
it was also weird with work, you know, being because were you an in-person worker when you
I was, and for a couple of years I just wasn't. And then I didn't get back out until maybe like 2022, 2021 or something like that. And well,
it was so weird, especially because I was a daycare worker, so I remember all the kids, and I didn't get to see them until like 2 years basically later.
Yeah.
And I was like tripping out. Like some of these kids I've known since they were in kindergarten. And then I'm like, you're in 3rd grade now?
Yeah, they just warped. It's still going to trip me out, the fact that there are people that were born in 2020. And I know they're 3 now, but
oh my gosh.
It's like there's going to be people who this strange alternate reality that we had for a while is all they knew. And I don't even know how that's going to go or anything. I mean, I guess there's no way to know, but
I mean, that's how people say like pre 2001, like everything was very different, and then I won't say what happened, but still happened in 2001.
We have no idea what happened there, but yeah, there's people.
Like
now who were born in that year who are turning 22. They're
It's
past
really
drinking
trippy.
age. And even
I still get like carded and people do double takes because they're like, "Are you sure you're this age?" And I'm like, "Yes, I am. I'm sure."
I mean, I've never really been in a position to need to be carded, but
I have a baby face. So.
I do feel nice whenever I ask somebody how old they think I am, and they say like 20s or like early 20s, because I don't feel like it. I definitely don't feel like it at this point.
God.
There was a point in which I said, "Oh, I don't feel like anything's changed." No, 2020, I don't feel in my 20s. I feel like part of that was just robbed from me, and that's because it was.
I get one time recently when I was at the hospital for my dad's surgery. Apparently you have to be like over 15 to be a visitor.
Oh.
And a nurse came up to me and was like, "You can't be here, little girl." And I was like,
Oh no.
and so
Like,
I
what
had
do you
to
even
fish
say
out
to
my
that?
I was like, "I'm an adult," and she's like, "I need to see a like form of ID." So I had to fish out my ID in my wallet, in my backpack, and be like, "Here you go, miss. I'm sorry." I don't know why I apologize.
Yeah. Well, it's just like you feel like you got caught for something, even though you didn't actually get caught for anything. It's like
She sounded so angry too, so I was like scared. I was like, "Oh, I've done something wrong. I'm sorry."
I mean, it's also like, I get it that probably any medical worker during all of this was having their living nightmare every single day.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, we don't know what this thing is. There was a period of time where they didn't, but they didn't know what it was. They didn't know what it did to people. They didn't know how to treat it. They didn't have a way to treat it. It was like, what do you even
scary.
do with that? Like, there's probably some kind of plague training during medical studies, I'm sure, but how would you even be able to commit that to memory?
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, that's never gonna happen. Like, would any like the future that people thought was going to happen when they would make movies in the 2000s and they would like go to the future, and it's like, oh, it's 2020, it's flying cars, it's, you know, this or that. No, it's a depressing plague where everyone got stuck inside and had to rethink their lives. Either it halted or started things for some people. But it was, there's no way that they would have thought that's what was going to happen.
I think I got into streaming in like 2020. Just because I was so bored and I had nothing to do.
Well, yeah, I started watching streamers in 2020 for sure. Like, I specifically remember it was like October in 2020. That's when I started watching VTubers, and I'm sure you could probably take some guesses as to which ones I started watching. I don't know if
I
any of
watched a
that
lot
has
of
been
Iron
clear.
Mouse.
Yeah, I actually still
She's
didn't.
my favorite, I think.
I still didn't really I didn't start watching her all that much until maybe January of the next year. I think around when she was doing she must have been doing a birthday party. And then when she joined VShojo and did the birthday party and stuff, I think that's when I started watching. And then later, you know, I started watching a bunch of people in VShojo and some indies, and I didn't really know about Hololive that much. I had seen them a bit off and on, but I think that's sort of when Niji Sanji Ian started coming up, I think. And I still didn't even really watch them until Obsidia with Selene and stuff. So
I didn't start watching until was it Luxium?
yeah, Luxium.
Is that what they're called?
The first I was about to call them a boy band. I guess they kind of were. But there were probably the biggest explosion of male VTubers in a corporation.
Yeah.
And
I watched Mista a lot and Vox.
Yeah. I watched a lot of Vox early on, and I think I sort of got into Mista was always my favorite at the time. And so from there, I think I just started watching a bunch more indies as well. And then it was just like, it was over already. I was already watching them just so much. But yeah, still back then and still now, mostly Nyanners. And then whenever Mouse is on, for sure.
I watch a lot of Mouse. I watch a lot of Project Melody. She's one of my favorites. She's so funny.
Yeah, she's hilarious.
I'm trying to think who else.
It's hard
I
to believe.
Nina a lot.
Huh?
And Callie. Nina.
Oh yeah.
Kozak? Yeah.
Definitely.
And Callie.
Nina was one of my favorites from Niji Sanji as well.
I miss her. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
She's one of my favorites.
Yeah. I mean, there's ways to get over that, I'm sure. But if you know, you know. I think there's
I don't know.
There's like open secrets and not so open secrets about where people are streaming these days.
Someone
but
send me the info.
Oh well, I'll send you that after. Don't worry about it. Okay. But yeah,
I didn't even know.
Oh really?
I know.
Oh,
I know about Mista and like that, but not Nina. I didn't know.
Oh, you didn't know? Oh well, that's interesting.
I didn't.
Well, here's a fun little clue. She's actually online right now. But chances are, whenever this airs, I think it'll be in the morning, so it's probably not really when she would be on. But even still, I think maybe that sort of veil of everything being very professional and corporate, it sort of broke down because of the fact that I got into this with Vishoujo. They're not really like that per se.
I was gonna say, yeah.
So I think they kind of understand that it's all business. They understand that people are just people. Streamers are just streamers.
People get emotionally attached.
Yeah. And I kind of feel as though it's a nice way to handle it and still be a bit more grounded in reality. Because at the end of the day, Niji Sanji and Hololive are Japanese companies, and there's just going to be different rules in regards to everything. So it's not even really a knock on how they do things. It's just they do things differently, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
And so, one day you're playing one character, one day you're playing another one. It's just how it goes with that. Yeah. And I feel like I feel definitely thankful to Niji Sanji for knowing how to pick them, because they still know how to pick them. They had debuts recently, and I still like a bunch of the people they picked. They're really good at this.
Are you talking about the one with oh gosh, the new wave that with the two dog girls? I forget their names.
Yeah, I
forget their
actually
names,
don't even know
really
what animals are. Oh wait, no, that was Hololive actually. That was
that was Hololive?
Yeah, that's Hololive.
My brain.
Mm-hmm.
I mix up Hololive and Niji Sanji so much, and it's bad.
Oh no, it's fine. Because the thing is, like, there's roughly almost 40 of Niji Sanji EN at this point. There would have been 45 if not for some graduations. It's like that is reaching a point where that's past having a baseball team of VTubers. It's more like, I don't know, you could fill a small restaurant with all of them.
You're getting close to that, like, what is it, Produce 101?
Yeah, no, it's I there's so many of them. But the thing is, I think that probably the biggest way to differentiate between the two is that for Hololive, their English branches are very, very spread out. Like they don't really have as many of those debuts as Nijisanji does. Nijisanji does it almost like 3 or 4 times a year. They'll release a new wave. And I was actually kind of surprised that they even waited as long as they did for this one, because this one was there were 2 different Nijisanji waves that debuted this year instead of their usual 4. So I think they're taking some time to probably make sure that they're not gonna like lose more people.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Yeah, and I appreciate whatever they're doing for that. I don't know what it is. I don't know the behind the scenes for those people, but hopefully they're thriving over there. I think there's certain people who can handle that pressure more than others. That's definitely for sure.
Mm.
I mean, can you imagine if you had to ask permission to play games?
I know, that's the thing with like corporations and stuff. Like, I've gotten a few like emails from companies being like, hey, we would like to have you like audition for something. But then you read like the stipulations and contracts and things, and you're like, I don't know how I feel about this.
Yeah, I literally just looked at a sponsor earlier today, and I was so surprised because it was like, oh man, Genshin Impact, really? And it was through that Stream Elements thing, right?
Oh yeah.
So
mm-hmm.
I had not been offered anything of note before then. Just kind of weird little games here and there of like stuff I knew I wouldn't play. And I looked at the Genshin one, and it was like, oh, so that's why people play this game so much. But it wasn't even that much money, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's like, it was more than nothing, frankly. But, you know, I looked at it and I thought, I have to jump through hoops to get all this. I have to play this in a specific way. I have to put this banner on here. I have to do all of this stuff just to get a little bit of money from this.
Yeah,
But
sponsorships I feel like are difficult, specifically for streamers, because like when for YouTube videos, you know, it's usually like a 15-second ad.
yeah,
For streamers, it's like play our game for like 3 hours.
Yeah,
with
2
overlays
2
and all other
hours
things.
It's like, it's nuts. I don't know. I don't know that I could do it on a regular basis for sure.
Yeah.
It's interesting seeing like Mouse and bigger streamers do sponsors, because there's degrees to which you can always kind of tell. I mean, other than the fact that they have to say it, but when it's a game that they actually like, it's a lot of fun, and a type of game that they like is definitely a lot of fun. But it's funny comparing like how people will talk about certain things versus everything else, and it just sort of shows that a lot of sponsors are out of touch as to why people play some of their games. Because I was also hearing that, have you seen Nikke, Goddess of Victory?
I don't think so.
That is another gacha game, and specifically what it's kind of known for is having like jiggle physics on all of the characters turned to like maximum, and then you're just like turning the gameplay of the entire thing is the characters facing away and shooting their guns and stuff while they're just like jiggling. And it's so stupid.
Oh
but
my god.
But the craziest thing that I've heard is that early on in the sponsorships for that game, one of the things that they told people was not to sexualize the characters.
But like that's the main selling point for the game.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like that's what they're doing, but they would tell people not to do that, and so it's like, how could you possibly understand what it is that is trying to be done here if that's what you would say? It's very strange.
Very strange.
I don't know.
You see, gacha games are hard because, like, sometimes the characters and the art are, like, really, really cute and stuff, and I want to play it because I want the characters and, like, the art, like, pieces of them. But then you get sucked down, like, a never-ending hole of, like, buying the, I don't know what to call them. Not booster packs, but, like, something along the line of that where they just, like, randomly give you characters, and then you get duplicates, and it's like, why do you do this to me?
Yeah, it can be rough for some games for sure. Some of them are definitely more lenient than others, and some of them just are crazy with how much they try and get you to buy stuff. Like, some of them, it's so bad that it feels like you're playing on a PC with a virus for how many pop-ups they put up of like,
oh god,
buy this. Oh, you can't do this? Well, time to buy this. And it's like, could you just stop? Like, anything in this world would be better than having to swipe for no reason on, like, paying $40 for a very simple, like, task here. It's very, it's almost like predatory towards people who have that kind of income to spend. And then it's just stupid to people who don't, because I can't sit there and look at $40 and justify playing, or like paying for an entire game that's $40 sometimes. I have to wrestle to get myself to buy a game at full price at $60. That is the hardest thing that you can get me to do, is to buy a $60 game. And that has been this way for years and years now, and I still don't do it. So for that to be the price point that they set for just buying some currency and being able to roll for the idea of the fact that you might get a character, like, that's crazy. That is nuts.
Yeah.
And I still do it anyway.
I have to go let my sister in real quick. She's locked outside. She forgot her keys.
Okay.
So I'll be back in a second.
All right. I'll try and note down these moments for Achi.
Okay, I am back. Oh, okay, is this?
Yep.
Hey,
That's her.
I'm so happy that she's back.
Yeah, she's been back for like a month almost.
Oh my goodness, how did I not? No one, gosh dang.
There's honestly, you can watch clips and stuff. She's slipped up a few times. Even Kuro's slipped up a few times.
Oh
as
my
well.
god, she's in, I can't even. Why? How did I miss this?
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing though. I mean, you were sick and stuff. There's a lot going on during that time. So I can imagine probably trolling around on
Yeah.
YouTube trying to find the next streamer to watch probably was not on the list. But yeah, she's doing a lot better. She's a lot happier. She's a whole lot happier. It's really nice to see, and her interactions with the rest of VShojo have been a whole lot of fun, for sure.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that.
Yeah. It's the happy ending, you know, of being able to kind of do what you want and still have a base and be able to experience some new things and have a little bit more freedom, talent, freedom.
I feel like VShojo is just like catching them all.
Yeah.
After all of these things, they're just getting.
They've
everyone.
got the Infinity Stones of one from every major company at this point.
Basically, like, If anything, they've got like 2 from every major game.
Well, yeah, almost. There's not 2 from Voms yet, but I don't really know all that much about Voms, honestly. I only really knew about Pikami from there. Technically, that is actually the first English VTuber that I watched. I mean, it's kind of like here and there because Pikami always used to speak a lot of Japanese, and but she would still speak English as well. I'd never really watched her all that much just by herself, but when it was just a random stream that I caught, like actually several months before I even watched the Anners or anything, and she was playing Dark Souls 3, and I just sat and watched for a little bit. And I think it just like planted the seed of like, oh, this is a cool little thing. There's like it's like Keys in the Eye, but it's like 2D. That's interesting.
Oh my gosh, Kizuna Eye.
Yeah, no, I watched Keys in the Eye videos back then. Like, I was already primed for this. I just didn't know it would be like this big.
Yeah, I remember there was this 3D software, like in 2015.
Face Rig?
Where it would... Was that what it was?
Yeah, Face
Like,
Rig.
they had, like, the dog.
The
like,
dog,
other...
the raccoon and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, this is so cool. And,
Yeah.
like, some people would try and use it to stream, and I was like, oh, whoa.
Yeah, there'd be, like, fighting gameplays and stuff that would do streams and just, like, have that on there. And it's like, oh, that's interesting.
I thought it was so cool.
It was just cool, but it's like I didn't know how they were doing it, so I couldn't have really imagined that I would ever be able to do this or do anything like this. And that was definitely it with, well, I mean, back when Kizuna I was around, you couldn't do this really. I mean, you could, but you had to like talk to so many people, and it's one of those reasons why I admire a lot of the earlier creators, because they just had to like brute force being able to do all of this, and they did it. Like, and they were able to stay around through some of that same tenacity. And well, you know, it's just cool to see that people are still there and able to do well. There are some early OGs and stuff that have gone on to become members of Hololive, even like actually kind of recently even. So I feel like a lot of that early success has like, it's kind of stuck around, and that's been cool.
It's really cool seeing VTubing like not just being a tiny niche in streaming. Like going to TwitchCon was really cool, seeing like hearing people talk about, hey, I'm a VTuber.
Oh, that's right.
I got stopped.
You went. I forgot.
I got stopped by. I talked to a lot of people who are at TwitchCon, just like sitting next to them at panels and stuff.
Yeah.
And it always was like, oh, I stream this, and I'm like, okay, I stream this, but let me preface you, because like, you know, a lot of streamers are, you know, face cam or no cam.
Yeah.
There's VTubing is still like relatively small compared to the other, you know, things like face cam and stuff. But
it's like in a corner, but that corner takes up maybe 30% instead of like 5%.
Yeah.
So
and like,
still in a
I didn't have to explain what being a VTuber was. They're like,
Yeah.
a VTuber, oh, that's so cool, like Iron Mouse. And
yeah,
I'm like,
exactly.
yes.
Because it helps that somebody
it was nice.
made it that big. Because
Yeah.
I don't think it would have been. Yeah.
My mom saw Iron Mouse in the newspaper, and she was like, that's our girl, right? That's our girl. And I'm like, yes, Mom. Yes, that is.
Well, the thing is,
she's happy that that Iron Mouse is Puerto Rican.
Yeah, for sure. There's always I feel like there's always something that you can show of Mouse to somebody, because my mom is a singer. She doesn't do opera or anything like that, but I feel like if I were to ever try to explain anything about Mouse, I would just pull up one of the opera clips and just let that roll, and she would be fine.
I pulled the first clip I showed my mom of Iron Mouse was she was singing Como la Flor, which is a Selena song. My mom loves Selena. We love Selena in this house. But so I showed her that, and my mom was like, she sings it so pretty, and her model thing is so cute. And I'm like, yes, Mom, yes. We love Iron Mouse.
I'm also very glad that that she started getting like angel models and stuff, because my mom is like very keenly aware of demonic imagery and stuff like that. And so I think there's some degree to which the fact that she's Satan is not something that she's going to be able to get over, or that very many people in my family are going to be able to get over. But I mean, I've been wearing I buy the shirts. I've already got this wall up and stuff. Like, I'm not going to be shy about the things that I like. I feel like I'm too old for that sort of thing, to like pretend that I'm into different things in order to like hide it. No, I'll wear what I want. I will I'll talk about who I want in that case, because it's like I'll find the people that want to share in that. And oddly enough, somebody at work finally recognized one of the shirts. I mean, it took a few months and they had to be a recent hire, obviously, but they actually knew Mouse, and they had gone to the same convention that I had gone to earlier this year, and they were at the panel with Zen and Mouse. Like I was at.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So they were enough. They're generally like a Zen fan, is what they said. Like, that's the one that they started with. But
I
they're
love
like Mouse
Zen
as well. Yeah, Zen's hilarious for sure. It's like a whole show when you go to Zen stream, and I think that's been one of the.
I was there for the cowboy one when she was like going crazy, switching the scenes. It was so funny. I was crying.
Mm-hmm. She's such a good entertainer, and when you think about the fact that she also has to practically work twice as hard to like get certain things because of the way that she does her voice and everything like that, that's genuinely impressive, because there's obviously VR chat has its own huge history and everything like that. And she used to be one of the mutes of that. And so that is quite the step up from that kind of a streaming style for sure.
Yeah.
She's just hilarious. And she's a big
one of my
old
favorites.
gamer. That's for sure. She's very competitive.
She's like Sen, Iron Mouse, and Project Melody, I think, are the ones I watch the most.
Mm-hmm.
I try to catch Callie's streams, but I mainly catch her like karaoke ones.
Yeah. Oh, did you see that she's going to be doing mostly collab streams from now on?
Oh no.
Yeah, she put out a tweet, or for like the foreseeable, well, not foreseeable future, but just like for a while. I think there's probably something that's keeping her busy about like probably the music industry and all that. She's probably like recording for something crazy big. So I do feel like that's another thing in Hololive. The opportunities get so big over there, and the viewership gets so big that I feel like they end up having to do a lot of offline work.
Yeah.
And they also just are hit with so much stress from so many different angles. It's not like as hands-on, I guess, as some of the smaller VTuber areas of the world, or of the web, I guess. But the fact that you can just sort of like turn on the stream whenever and start playing a game, I still feel like for being able to go back and think of that as a luxury, it's probably really nice to go from a corporate environment to somewhere like VShojo where you can just do it again and think like, oh, I
Yeah.
can actually just stay on and do what I
Play
want.
what I want.
That's crazy.
Like, whoa. And if
But-
I have ideas, they can help me with them.
Mm-hmm.
I think
And
that's
that-
like the main thing that I feel like sucks for a lot of the people who are in big corporations and they're like creative individuals. They want to do
Yeah.
like unique things, and then their company's like, sorry, we can't, even though we have the money and the manpower to do that. That doesn't align with what we want you to do.
Yeah. I will say, one of the nicest things about that transition is they both immediately got Discords. And not
Oh.
fan Discords, but Discords that they're actually in, like most of the VShojo people have. And it must have been really sad not to be able to get to interact with your fans anymore in like more of a meaningful way, because there is no humanly possible way that they would let people in Hololive or Niji Sanji run their own Discords. There's just no way.
Yeah, no.
Like, and they wouldn't really have the resources to provide that, to like hire mods and stuff to get them for them. So the fact that things have to be a little bit more grassroots and just like getting trusted people involved, I feel like VShojo is a lot better at doing that, because they were mostly just kind of herding cats early on and just having like everything grow a bit organically, just enveloping people in that were already kind of established. And, you know, obviously they eventually went on to start launching careers and you could say rescuing people here and there. So,
Yeah.
you know, I feel like that whole growth, there's no way that they could have projected that this is what was going to end up happening. But I mean, they're back up to 12 members, I think. Oh yeah, they're at 12 now.
Your favorite Beast Shoujo member is, I'm assuming, is Nanners, you said?
At the time,
before.
yeah.
Before,
But
yeah. Before. I
anymore.
keep forgetting. Before.
yeah. I would say now it's obviously Mouse, but I like Kuro a whole lot, and I like Matara a whole lot. And I think even before that, probably gonna be like a strange answer, but Hime streams are actually really fun. They are once in a blue moon, but it's just like
they are.
they're really fun. And I also think Henya is hilarious, and her streams are really fun as well. I don't know. I don't really think there's any of them that I particularly haven't watched at all. I would say probably the one that I've watched the least is Kei-san. That's just because like she's mostly in Japanese, so I haven't really seen her all that much. And Nazuna is like mostly missing at this point, but there's some reasons for that. So she's going over and thriving in other ways, so it's fine. But also that's VShojo JP to me, and it's really difficult for me to like pay as much attention when it's a different language and there's not like, obviously, I still watch some of the streams because they did have the subtitle thing up and everything, but you know, I tend to watch when I tend to be able to like zone out and not really pay as much attention to, and you kind of have to pay a lot of attention to listen in a different language.
True, very true.
Yeah.
I was asking because I was curious, why was Nanners your favorite? Or was she your... No, you said Kizuna Ai was your first.
Well, she was the first one, yeah. And then technically I watched Pikami for like one stream, but I think it was like a matter of circumstance, because she was playing Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion, and it was during October and stuff, and so I just sort of like put her on and just started watching. I had seen some of her videos beforehand as well. Like obviously she's been a content creator for a long time, and so I think I had probably seen like some funny video several years earlier and thought like, oh, this is that same person. Okay. Oh yeah, I remember them. But I don't know what it is, but I think it's also like joining the community and stuff was helpful at the time because I just didn't really know all that much about the VTuber community, and they were very welcoming about that, and they had like sections and things for, you know, being able to chat about other streamers. And I learned a lot of what I learned about VTubers through like just kind of hanging out in there. And, you know, it was nice to be around in that place, and I still hang out in there a whole lot. So
That's pretty cool.
yeah.
Yeah, I got into Iron Mouse because CDawg VA. I've been a subscriber of his since like I'm embarrassed to say, but it was like a long time ago when he used to do like voice acting impressions for.
Wow.
It was I was part of the, what do they call it? The 93%.
93, yeah. I don't even know if like the meme is dead or annoying or anything yet, but
I know.
it's like it's just the truth of the matter at this point.
It was mainly because he did a lot of dubbing for Black Butler, like the manga.
Yeah.
He would collab with people, and I was a big fan at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my friend in like high school, middle school ish, were really big fans of Black Butler. So we were like, oh, this guy does impressions of Sebastian, and he sounds exactly like him. That's cool.
Did you see that
like,
he did a video with the original voice actor?
Yeah,
recently?
with J. Michael Tatum.
Yeah.
It was, I love that. He went to the conventions and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I remember watching, like, he was switching away from that kind of content.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, his content, like, had several, like, eras.
Yeah.
And all of them were pretty good.
I heard he used to do like prank videos. Well, not prank videos,
he used
but
to do
calls
phone
and
call
stuff.
videos.
Yeah. I cannot imagine him doing something like that now.
No, not anymore. Oh, it seems like he's grown so big on YouTube and especially on like Twitch and stuff. Like a lot of people really like him.
Yeah,
which is awesome to see. Because I remember seeing him when he was like struggling, and I was like, oh, he seems like a really nice dude. I hope everything goes well for him.
Yeah.
And seeing him succeed and everything, I'm like, that's cool. I like that.
It is cool for sure. I have like a less of a VTuber related story in regards to following a character, or not a character, but a creator, and then seeing them do like something huge that everyone loved a whole lot later. There was a composer named Michael Kelly, and I actually looked back at my old music stuff that I put up, and there was one time where he left a comment on one of my remixes or something that I did that he liked.
Oh, that is so cool.
And it was just like, it was really inspiring because he always used to put out like a lot of his unfinished works and a lot of like just smaller works and things. And I always loved his music so much. It was very atmospheric. It was all like cyberpunkish, like technological type of music. I don't know how I could have sounded older saying that, but every time he would put something out, I would be there, I'd be liking it and stuff. And then he later went on to do the soundtrack for Valhalla.
Oh,
And
whoa.
he was like widely praised for that. And people bought the vinyls and everything. And all I kept thinking was like, I knew this guy like 10 years ago. This is crazy.
Way before everything.
It's like way before he was like the guy that did Valhalla music. I was just thinking like, I've heard some of the early versions of some of these songs that ended up being put on the soundtrack and thing. I still feel like
Crazy.
it's so strange because I feel kind of bad sometimes about it, because I have downloads of some of those still, and I feel like I shouldn't have them because they were taken down, and like they were changed for later. But I don't know. Maybe I'll try and contact him about it or something. Like, should I feel bad for having these? Should I get rid of them? I don't know.
That was me with the someone. I think I've told you this before on like when we did like that chill art stream that one time.
Yeah.
The Unreal PT.
Oh yeah.
I still have that.
Yeah.
It's still on like 4 different flash drives just for safekeeping because I'm not losing that.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, I feel kind of bad because now people. Well, before he was charging people like $30 to $40 to download it.
But now
he
you
made
could
it free for a little bit.
Now you
but
could
now
definitely upsell that. Like you could get a lot more money if you don't feel bad.
Friggin' Konami came after him and was like, "You need to stop selling this, or we're going to like fine you and sue you and stuff." So he stopped.
Yeah, we're the only ones allowed to be stupid and lose money here.
Basically,
said Konami. It's like, come on, you're just jealous that you lost this project that was revolutionary for everyone.
I still don't understand how they lost it.
I don't know.
How do you mess up that bad?
Maybe by not being so nice to the people who made it.
Yeah.
I don't know what's wrong with Konami, but it's not entirely fixed. So
That's why I'm scared of the new remake. I'm like, is it gonna be good? And also like the weird I saw because recently, like literally 2 days ago, my sister took me to a Doja Cat concert. Just randomly. I was like,
Okay.
"You got tickets?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's
Right.
me, you, and my friend." And I'm like, I was not told this. But I went and they showed an ad for Silent Hill Ascension on the big like screen before the concert started.
What?
And
Why?
it's like, I don't know, but it's like it seems like a TV show. People vote and they come in and they watch and they vote from their phones or something.
What?
Yeah.
Why would that be interesting?
I don't know. I was like, this is what they were teasing the entire month of October.
What?
I'm still confused on what it is exactly. I might tune in and see, but I have a bad
I
feeling
don't
about
know.
it.
It's so frustrating
Yeah.
watching a company like dance around success like that. And like dance on it too. Because
Yeah.
that's free money that they could print.
It's also
so
so
free.
weird because like Silent Hill takes place in like a US town, right? But
Right.
the people who made Silent Hill 1 and 2 and I think 3 were like they called them Team Silent, and they were all Japanese developers and things like that. So even though it took place in like the Western world, it still had the Japanese elements of horror. And
sure.
then I think Silent Hill The Room they gave to like a bunch of Western developers who were technically like a new branch of Konami, I think.
Yeah.
And that game was hot garbage and no one liked it.
That's weird. It's
So
probably one of the
so
few
I'm
that I
like-
haven't even watched anybody finish because I just wasn't even interested. Like nothing was happening.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So it's like, it's confusing because I don't. They gave Silent Hill 2 remake to, I want to say they're called Bloober Studio, if I'm correct.
Something like that.
I don't remember exactly, but which is, I want to say, I know they're not a Japanese team, but I don't know Bloober team. Poland. They're Polish. Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh.
But
Ooh.
yeah, they're the ones who made Layers of Fear, The Medium, the Blair Witch game.
Ooh.
We don't talk about
Wait,
that
what was the
one.
medium? I don't think I've heard of that one.
The Medium, honestly, it was like you played as a character who jumped between reality and like sort of a dream nightmare-ish world. I don't remember the story that much, but a lot of people were like, oh, this kind of gives Silent Hill vibes. And then after they got given Silent Hill 2 to remake.
Okay. Wait, is that more
But-
recent?
Yeah, it came out.
Oh, January 2021.
Yeah.
I don't think I've actually ever seen anybody play this. Interesting. Is it
I've seen people play it. I bought it. I played a little bit of it, but I wasn't super interested in like the story of it.
I would
sucks.
say even just from looking at screenshots, it looks pretty Silent Hill-ish.
It looks very cool, yeah.
Yeah.
The visuals
Oh,
are very
the
good.
dual reality puzzles. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I feel like I've seen a trailer for it, but I didn't know it was out.
Yeah. A lot of people think that Bloober Team got they got past Silent Hill 2 by Konami because Konami saw the medium and was like, hey, this game looks really nice.
They
But I'm nervous because Blair Witch was garbage and I just don't want Silent Hill 2 to be garbage.
Yeah. Well, I hope it
Well.
goes well for them. I think honestly, Silent Hill. I was about to say it's a hard game to mess up, but I mean, there's the room. So I mean, there's proof that I guess that's not the case. But I don't know. They did pretty well with Layers of Fear, even if Layers of Fear was the only thing that they saw. Like that,
Yeah.
I feel like is worth passing them the recommendation. And I don't even think Layers of Fear is like gigantically good as a game.
It has its moments where it's like, oh, have mercy on my
I
soul.
just wish the voice acting was different. I feel like that would have put it over the edge of like being great, you know? But it's goofy sometimes. It just is. Like the voice of the guy and everything. I don't know.
How many Silent Hill things? I just went to the website to see, and they have Silent Hill 2, Silent Hill Townfall, Silent Hill F, Silent Hill Ascension.
That's the problem.
I'm like, they went ham.
They can't
for
press
some
one
reason.
button. They have to press 5 buttons with all 5 fingers. Like they can't just take the thing that they need to do and do it. Just put out PT.
Yes,
You're gonna
that-
get
I'm, like,
brownie
so
points.
confused.
Like just don't be stupid.
Just
Make the
give
rest
us
of that.
PT to download on the PlayStation 5, please, and I will
Honestly.
be happy.
Even if they just brought it back as it is, people would be much happier with them. But they can't.
I'm so curious as to where it would go, like where Silent Hills, Kojima Silent Hills would have gone. It would have probably been like bizarre, insane, really cool. knowing
Yeah,
Kojima.
probably. But here's what I'm thinking now, right? Like, what did you think of Death Stranding?
I thought it was very interesting. It had its like, like it felt like 2-hour cutscenes, but it was like I was interested in the story. I guess.
Yeah.
The gameplay was fun. I know a lot of people were like, it's a walking simulator. It's so boring. But I actually really enjoyed running through the environments and stuff. And
Yeah.
also, Mads Mikkelsen was in it, and I love him, so.
Fair enough. But no, I think at the very least, that game was one that had a lot of eyes on it. And maybe some of those eyes aren't quite on it anymore. But they definitely went for things and tried things. And they would have probably tried to do the same for PT. I can only imagine. If their storied history is of Metal Gear, which is famous for just trying different random stuff at times with the gameplay, like I think they could have done pretty well doing a straight up horror game. I don't know.
Yeah.
they didn't really have all that much to beat. What was the previous Silent Hill before that?
Oh my gosh.
Was it The Room?
It might have been.
Wait, no, was it
Or
the
maybe-
weird one on
no,
the
no,
Wii?
yeah.
Because
Oh
I
my
saw that.
gosh.
I saw that. That one looked pretty bad.
Let me see. Games in order. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's one called the Silent Hill Experience. I've never heard of that one.
I haven't heard of that one either. Like a play?
They made a mobile game called Silent Hill Mobile. The
Ugh.
Orphan.
Why? Who's
I
gonna
don't
sit there
even
on
know.
their phone thinking like, yeah, I'm getting real scared. Yeah, I love this. I'm getting real scared. No. Why?
I don't know, man.
That's so weird.
There's yeah.
What like
They
what
made a lot of
is
mobile
that?
games. It looks like yeah.
Oh,
I think The Room might have been
Yeah.
like the last big one, which everyone was like, "This is bad."
well, so the Wii one was before
Or
the
Downpour.
Downpour
maybe,
was the Wii one, wasn't it?
I think that
yeah.
one. They're like Silent Hill games where I'm like, I've deleted them from my memory. They don't
Yeah.
exist.
I only remember
like-
that one because I think I watched the Game Grumps play it or something.
Oh, me too. And it was glitching out on.
Yeah. I was there.
Oh my gosh.
I was there for that
I
episode.
remember that. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. That is probably another one where it's like I still remember back when Aaron was Ego Raptor, there was maybe like 15 years ago or so, I think he used to moderate on a forum for Mega Man called Atomic Fire, and that is legitimately what I first remember him from, and just being like
Wow,
an
that's
artist
crazy.
and stuff. And then I remember, I don't remember if he had done the Awesome series animations and stuff back then or what, but I still remember when the first episode of Game Grumps just appeared out of nowhere, and I was just like, what is this? And then I watched for like 2 years straight. And
Dang.
yeah, I was really into it for a while, but I think it just sort of came into phases, and I was just thinking like, oh, there's no way I can keep up with this. And then Dan joined, and then I got really back into it again, and then there was just too much of it. I don't know. Yeah, that was when I first knew anything of Ross, though. I hadn't heard of
Oh, I
him
love
before
Ross.
Game Grumps. Yeah, Ross is cool. Still doing a lot of fun stuff with art, and I appreciate that.
I've watched a couple of his YouTube videos with, is it Gartic Phone he does a lot of?
Yeah, he does. And there was like a point in time where he was doing like Minecraft stuff as well on the
Oh, I
Bounce
remember
server.
making the like dancing emotes for the
Yeah, that was a cool
Those are so
arc.
cool. I
They're going
loved
to
those.
eventually do another Bounce server, I think. It's just taking a long time because Minecraft is stirring a lot more than usual. So they're like having to keep up with mods not getting updated and all this crazy stuff. Even though Minecraft is so simple and only updates like twice a year, it can just mess everything up when you're trying
It
to
just
make a new
breaks
server.
everything.
Yeah.
I have to get back into Minecraft, and I know that Bonopolis has a Minecraft server.
Yeah, they do.
I have yet to join it. I
Really?
need to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So here's what we're going to do. Because I'm on there, but I don't really know that much about Minecraft or like how to actually
I only
play.
know what my sister has taught me because we used to play together until I feel bad. I was okay. Like, I didn't know this was a thing, but apparently, if you put a cauldron in a wood house and you
Oh,
put lava in
no.
the cauldron,
Oh no.
it speckles out little embers. And I thought the embers were just for show,
Oh,
but no, it will set fire to the wood.
I did not know that either. But good to know.
Yeah,
That's
so I ended up
crazy.
burning down our entire mansion, and it was my sister
no.
got so mad. She shut the Xbox off and said, "I'm never playing Minecraft with you again."
It's so sad. But
She's
I
actually
mean,
play with me on stream once, but she's like, "We're never like dedicating ourselves to a Minecraft world again because
yeah,
you killed everything we worked for."
it's sad, but like I can't even imagine that I would be any less angry at that point.
I know, and the fact that it was survival, so like everything, like we had to work hard for everything. It
Yeah,
wasn't creative. So she had a right to be mad.
yeah. But I mean, you know, hey, now you know. More cauldrons.
Yeah, now I know. No more.
I feel like Kafka's probably on there the most that I've seen. Maybe I feel like it might be fun to just like hop on there with him one of these times. Am I getting tired?
Yeah, definitely. How are you?
I looked at the time. I think I am. I don't know.
No.
Wait. I was trying to think. Did you want to actually like answer the questions or no? Like, did you have anything in mind? I know the conversation like kind of drifted
It
over
just-
top
yeah.
of most of the questions already anyway, just organically. So I do
Yeah.
feel like that tends to happen a lot. But was there a specific question that you thought of an answer of that you wanted to give?
Oh gosh, I'm like trying to look through which ones have I answered. Okay, let me. I'm just gonna like check mark them. Oh, I think did I answer what got me into VTubing?
You answered some stuff about like the early days of it, but I don't think specifically what got you into.
Okay. Well, I got into Iron Mouse, and before that, I don't know if most people know, but I used to do like face cam streaming.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah. I used to do face cam streaming, but then it's weird. Okay, whenever I like barely meet people and they ask me like, how'd you get into VTubing, or why did you turn from face cam to VTuber, I always say, oh, I just didn't want to have to get dressed up and stuff to stream. but I say that because like the real reason is kind of sad, and I don't want to make people sad.
Oh, don't worry. You couldn't make me any sadder than I already am.
Oh god. the real reason was like I have a liver disease, so I'm like I there are several times in the day where I'm like in a lot of pain, and I noticed when I was streaming face cam, I have a very expressive face, so
so people would be able to
tell when I was
Yeah.
in pain, and people would worry and be like, are you okay? What's
Okay.
going on? And I hated having to explain that
Yeah.
every single time. And it made me never watch back any of my VODs because it upset me.
Because you'd be hyper aware of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense, though.
Yeah, so VTubing, yes, I have like facial tracking and stuff, and maybe sometimes it comes through, but it's not like, it's different seeing a VTuber's face kind of be like wince, you know, versus like my actual face.
It could also literally, for most of these programs, it could be glitching. Like just not capturing things properly. Because like mine has been the entire time. But I just learned to get over it. It's because who cares? Most of the people are probably going to be listening to this anyway. But no, I feel like that's a completely valid reason, because when people are just sitting there and watching you, they will comment on the slightest
On
things.
everything.
And
Yes, everything.
it's so crazy to me that it still happens to VTubers, to some of them. Like, particularly the ones who have
gotten like super 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 fancy tracking and things. It happens to Mouse constantly, and I feel like her mods are probably some of the hardest working people on this planet because of all the stupid stuff that they have to delete. Where if you very very slightly close your eyes for 2 seconds, is she asleep? Is she asleep? Is she sleeping? I'm Amir.
Oh my gosh.
Like, shut up. Like, just shut up. What do you, like, how is that the response every single time? Like, what does that do? What does that add? And so there's just people who will do that sort of thing, just hyper fixate on very tiny things. And it's like, just pay less attention and try to enjoy what you're doing. How about that?
So the one thing I get a lot is I move a lot when I'm sitting. You probably noticed I sway back and forth. It's just a habit. I don't know why. And people will always come in and be like, she's been swaying back and forth for like the past 20 minutes. Is she okay? And I'm like, I'm fine.
With that?
It's just a nervous like tick or something. It's just something I do in my chair. I don't understand.
I mean, did you notice that I've been doing it too? Like, it's just not that serious. I feel like it's just,
I can't like stand pin straight. It's too weird. I have to like be moving a little bit or something.
Yeah. But I mean, obviously, like, I'm sitting, so I swivel around the chair sometimes. It's just a natural thing. I feel like, okay, we don't have to get too deep into this, but I do think there's probably a different set of scrutiny that's given towards people who sound like I do versus people who sound like you do. I'm just gonna be real here, because there's certain things that I feel like I get away with people not really talking to me about. I don't know. I've never had somebody do that to me, and I don't feel like I would like it if they did.
Another thing that like kind of convinced me to do VTubing was, you get those weird people in the chat who comment on your body.
Yeah.
So it's really awkward.
Yeah.
I don't feel as awkward when people thirst after my VTuber model, because it's
something you designed. It's like, just, thanks. I do have good taste in character design.
Yeah, versus me sitting in my chair just like eating Oreos, and they're like, ooh.
It's like, bro, go to a different website where somebody asks for that to happen. Like, just don't even waste your time.
Yeah. Mm. So it's like a very different dynamic there. I feel a lot better when people are like...
There's plenty of people who you can patronize who actually appreciate that sort of attention or want to have that sort of attention. So the fact that people go and give that sort of comment to people who they don't know and don't know if they would want that sort of attention, that still baffles me. But also some of them are just children, so they shouldn't exist anyway. I mean,
that's why
on the internet.
I feel a lot better with them oogling at the VTuber, because I'm like, that's a separate thing from me. So
I mean, this is basically just elaborate dangling of keys for like people to look at something that's not me, because I never did facecam, never have, never will if I can help it. I never really have any desire to do like IRL streaming or anything like that, and that's mostly because if I could just be a disembodied voice in real life, I would probably choose that over existing in general, because I do feel like having a body is one of the most inconvenient things a person can have.
Oh my gosh, honestly.
It's like, you could just dump this in the river and I would still be me if I went anywhere else.
That's just kind of how I feel about VTubing in general. It's like I finally got a chance to be known for something that's not just the fact that I look the way that I do, or
That too, yeah.
you know, having people scrutinize like my mood and my face by what I'm emoting and everything. It's the most annoying thing in this planet. And it has happened so much where people think that actually, even the tracking thinks that I'm angry a lot of the time. But that's one of the reasons why I had to turn down the sensitivity on the thing, is because my enormous resting bitch face has like it's like suctioning the model into frowning all the time, and it's like, no, I'm not frowning, I'm just resting my face muscles so I don't have to do anything with them. That's usually it.
That's funny. My resting face is always a smile, and I don't know why.
Oh, I mean, that's a good thing, I guess. It can probably be like,
it's okay, but like if I'm walking through the supermarket, I feel like people think I'm smiling at them, and then they smile back, and I'm like,
oh no,
wait, did I?
Yeah, you're
I'm
right.
like, did I?
No, that's bad.
Did I engage something?
Oh, that's bad.
I
People
just came here for.
people certainly avert their eyes from me in general, but I think it's because one of the things that is similar to from my model to me is my skin color. And so if I'm in a place, it's more likely or not that being in the South, somebody's going to be afraid of me for no reason. So, I mean, that can have its conveniences, but it's mostly inconvenient and it's hurtful and sad
Yes.
on the whole. But it's like, I would much rather be in a situation where all people are hearing is my voice and how I'm saying things. And even that can be misunderstood, but at least it's coming out of somebody cute. So it's better.
Yeah. I know my first VTuber model I made tan like me in real life because I'm Mexican and Puerto Rican. So,
Nice.
but then I gradually changed over to like a pink skin, like cybernetic, because that's I was like, this would be cool, a pink skin VTuber.
Yeah. I think it's cool. It's very distinctive for sure. You always know it's you.
It was a lot of like trial and error. I feel like I have like over the course of like 2 years, probably like 20 models to build up to what I'm currently at now. And I'm still tweaking things on this one.
Well, that's cool though, because I feel like once I hit a certain like outfit or something like that, I just don't want to edit it for a while, and I just want to be able to turn everything on. Because I've had like 3 or 4 different outfits like drawn up, ready to start working on them, and I still haven't. And it's been like 2 years now, almost.
Jeez. I go ham and like experiment with things.
What's
I
also
still
crazy.
have like ideas for stuff.
Well, I've also been super impressed with like the UI stuff that you do, because I don't know if you knew this or not. Yeah, if you've ever seen any of my streams, my UI that I use for the just chatting screen and the starting screen and the ending screens, etc., like the outside framing of it, that has been unfinished for
Oh,
3 years. It's always been in a sketch. I always meant to shade it more. I always meant to refine it more. I just never did. So I just left it that way the whole time. It's actually not supposed to look like that. But then it's
I
like,
didn't
you know
that.
what? Yeah, nobody questions it. So
I need to like calm down and stop updating my overlays and stuff, because I'm like, I need to dedicate time to other things.
yeah, but it's fun.
Then I'm it is. I'm like,
It's like
wait,
if you
but
get
I
on a
want
roll,
cool
you want to
things.
keep doing it, you know?
Like I made Achi's overlay recently. He commissioned me, and I was like, "Oh, this is so cool! I had so much fun making it." And then I made a couple. It was only I think it was like 25, and I threw in some little panels too because I like making the panels. I like theming things.
So that begs the question. What could you do with my unfinished UI, do you think?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, like,
I've always wanted to turn it into like a full thing of like having it finished, having it actually. I don't think you animate them, do you?
It depends. Sometimes I'll do just loop background. Sometimes I'll use like stock footage.
Oh,
if it's like cybery stuff, yeah.
Because honestly, I've always wanted to have that like properly tidied up, and by this point, I know that I'm not going to do it. Like, I'm just not going to do it. So maybe that would be a possible thing to do. If you were interested in such a thing, I've always wanted to
I'm
see.
always down for new. I love making overlays. They're fun. I love theming things to people. Like, I made Lo-Fuzz, and I think they changed it around a bit because I also gave them each asset separately so they could, like, move stuff if they wanted to. I made a couple of other ones. I forgot who, though. But, yeah, I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I saw a lot of responses on that tweet.
Yeah, I'm working on EJs. I'm making EJs.
Oh,
it's supposed to be...
Okay.
A surprise.
Oh, okay. Well,
but
I mean, it still would have been a surprise by this point, so don't worry. You've got like 2 weeks.
Okay.
Now.
Before. Now I've made myself a deadline.
Yep.
Yeah. And then I've helped people with Vroid models and stuff before, like making clothes or adding effects.
Oh, I would actually really love some help with adding effects because I've had these like tattoo areas on myself for a while, and I always imagined that they would glow, but I don't know how to do the emissive thing.
Ooh,
I mean, I know what it's called, at least.
Yeah, but the Poyomi, I think, is what it's called.
Oh, well.
It's like a VR chat, like shader. But it works with Vroid models as well. That's how I do the glowy bits on me and stuff, and the hair.
Huh. Yeah, no, I've never heard any of that, so I guess maybe that's what I should do.
I dug in deep research because I'm like, I am not spending my money on making this. I will do it myself.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the things that I need to get a little better at because I've seen VGen now, right? Like
I think I've heard of VGen.
Trying to get familiar with that site and see if I can get some stuff done on there, but I'm stalling on that because I know that once I start doing that, it's going to be. I'm not going to stop. I'm just not. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be really bad. Like I told you, ever since middle school, I have been buying outfits. Do you think I'm not going to start buying stuff like crazy on there? It does not matter if I am needing to save money or not. It's gonna get bad if I get on that site. So I'm stalling.
That's how I am with Booth sometimes.
With what?
With Booth sometimes if I see
Booth
really
is another one. I need to stay off of there.
I've been staying away for like the past year now.
Yeah.
Before I would visit all the time and be like, okay, I'm buying this.
It's real
bad. But now
bad.
I'm like, calm down. We know how to make outfits. You can do it yourself.
Yeah, but this one is so cool though. But this one. But what about this one?
I know, also, it's so hard.
I don't know. I just sort it by free and just try and to be okay with what's there. But it's very good. Booth is super nice. I'm glad that everything works together. Anyone.
Yeah. Definitely. If people are getting into VTubing, Vroid and Booth will be your best friends.
For sure. And even if you like buy some outfit that not a lot of people bought, they're gonna think it's like, oh, this is you. But you have to still credit everything, so you gotta be careful about that.
Yes, that is important. Credit where credit is due.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, I am going to ask you one final question, if that is okay.
Okay.
And by one final question, I mean it's going to oscillate somewhere between 2 and 3 different questions.
Okay.
Because I'm not going to be able to just do that. What is some good news that you can share?
I picked up dancing again, which has made me really happy.
That's cool.
And because of that, I've been able to record some videos and use them as mocap for some TikToks I'm planning to post soon.
Wow.
So,
I did not know
I'm
that it
very
went that
excited.
deep. In fact, I did not know that you could dance before.
yeah, I've been a dancer since like high school, but like earlier this year I got really sick, so I kind of stopped.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't start up until like October, like beginning of October, and then I got sick again.
Oh,
But I'm
no.
doing better now, and I've been practicing and everything, and yeah, I'm really excited.
I'm glad. That's honestly nice. I
Yeah.
only know how to do like ballroom dancing, and that's because they just.
Oh, but
like,
that's cool.
well, I mean, they taught everyone, and so it's one of those things where if I tried to do it now, I don't think I would have the memory.
You won't remember.
Nah.
Yeah,
I mean,
did
I
the
remember the
hip-hop.
waltz a little bit, but not the.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Roomba, was it one? Was it the Roomba? I forgot.
I know how to ballroom, salsa, tango, and then like hip hop. I
Yeah, the
think are
tango
main
was fun.
ones. Tango is my favorite, I think.
Mm-hmm. Wait.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that was the one that had the when you could dip people.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That
Yeah,
one's
that
really
one was
fun.
fun. And I feel like I'm gonna drop someone though. Like that's gonna be the way that like someone dies. But you know, hey, at least I'm not doing it now.
Mm-hmm.
I do feel like it would be fun to get back into that, but I just don't think I couldn't imagine the time. I mean, I know that you probably see I don't stream like a ton, but it's mostly just kind of figuring out what kind of time and energy I have to do with different evenings.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll
That's
see.
why it's. I work from home and I get to make my own hours, so I got better at scheduling things instead
Yeah.
of dedicating like 24 hours of straight work. I'm like, no, you need your breaks.
Mm-hmm.
Do some dancing. And so it's been a lot of fun. It's also exercise too, so
Yeah, that sounds healthy for sure. So there is one final question, and do you have any questions for me?
okay, I have actually technically 3 questions. I wrote them down earlier.
Okay.
Okay, so first one is how have you enjoyed your time as the host of Lapin Lounge? Because how many weeks has it been now?
It has been roughly 10 weeks. The last one that I released
Whoa.
was episode 10, and
So
I guess
like
this week
2
was
and a
off.
half months basically.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So, in terms of all that, I feel like I've learned some things since earlier on about, not particularly about my interview style or anything like that, but I've learned that there's definitely people where you can hit one button and then I don't have to talk for 20 minutes. And it's really nice. Because it's like they're just going and I'm just like smiling and nodding. And I'm trying not to turn this into like the smiling and nodding show. So
Yeah.
it's been nice to get used to like the flow of conversation with a lot of the different people that have been on there. Like that's probably been the most fun about it. Overall, I really like it because I am not okay. There's a way to say shy, but introverted also seems a little strange. But I guess that's probably the only way to really describe it. So we'll just say introvert, but has to have an excuse to talk to people. That is the way that I would describe myself. Because normally, like you've probably noticed, there is not a ton of small talk in DMs or anything like that. I don't really sit and chat in generals and stuff like that very much. I don't really. There's a lot of that I feel like I probably could be doing, but I don't want to, so I don't. Like I'm just very pointed about my time, even if it's time that's not pointed anywhere. So I would rather have this entire show as an excuse to talk to people that I want to talk to.
Yeah.
But then it's like, well, how would I just be able to ask them to talk to them? Like, have I tried to call you at any time between the last time we talked and now? No. And was I going to? No. I wasn't going to. Because this, to me, that I think probably ever since the last time I just called someone to talk to them that wasn't related to me was 4th grade. Like,
oh my God.
It was probably the last time. Because I don't just like sit and talk on the phone with friends very much. Now Discord calls is a different thing. I'm specifically talking about like a landline call, the 4th grade thing. I have talked to people on Discord, but there's only been 2 times, and that was just this year, that I've just talked to a longtime friend on Discord for no reason other than just like conversation. Just twice. Otherwise, it's like joining VCs and stuff that are already going or something else. And that is what I would call having an excuse to do it. Because it's like, it's a public VC. Anybody can walk in. So I walk in sometimes. And I feel like that's been an improvement. But there just has to be an excuse. And I don't think that's a bad thing per se. Like,
no, that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, like having this whole show has been a ton of fun for that reason of like getting to learn about the people on there, having them showcase some of their personality. I also know that people are different around different people. So even the fact that I'm on there talking to them, they're probably going to talk to me in a different way than they talk to other people. Like I know that EJ for sure is like probably
she was kind of shy in her episode. I know.
Yeah. Like I know that that's not always how she is in particular. But I also know that if I do an episode where she's on here with Chaco,
oh, it's going to be crazy.
That's going to be so fun. But also just even with Ronan's episode, like we just like chilled and talked. But if I had Ronan and Sprinkles on, I would not
Ronan
be able
and
to.
Sprinkles or Ronan and Ruby. I want to see.
Yeah,
no,
like it'd be
they
over.
are chaotic, and I love them.
It would be so fun, and I still want to actually have those episodes.
It would turn into a Ruby and Ronan show.
Yeah, I would want like. I think the next grouping of anything is I'm just gonna like pick 2 people to be on at the same time, and I want to start that with Chaco and I mean I guess it could be
the whole Bun Bun family.
Well, yeah, just like all of them, but Chaco and Bun Bun probably first because that would be like a normal episode. and then just like picking some sort of topic and seeing if two people want to come on. That's going to be hard to schedule, but I think that's going to be a whole lot of fun, and it's definitely going to change the whole dynamic of the show. But it's I want that to be the case. But
so you've been enjoying it a lot.
I guess, yeah, the short answer, yes.
What's been like your favorite part of Lapin Lounge since like it started?
Well, the fact that I can say that I have a show. that's pretty cool. That's not actually this is not actually oh, no. But I think more than anything, it's what I like looped around with many words just before now, where I like having an excuse to talk to people, and it's also because I think you guys are really cool, but I can't think of a reason why I would just sort of like come in and talk on VC a lot of the time. So it's a good opportunity, I think, also to show off the personalities of people, to show off what people do. And I think it shows me at probably my most talkative is when I'm with other people, because I don't know how to talk to myself. I don't really want to. So, you know, I like being able to spend the time with other people, for sure.
We got to get you another show. So you can talk even more.
I'm thinking
what would it be? I don't know.
Well, I do think it probably wouldn't be limited particularly to Bonopolis, unfortunately, because I want to be able to talk to some people outside of it, and I feel like I don't want to, you know, I don't want to stretch this show to just like include everyone, but I do like Lapin Lounge being a Bonopolis related thing and staying within all that. So I probably wouldn't. I just realized I had the Bonopolis thing off this entire time. That's interesting.
Oh no!
I just realized. It's like, oh wait,
we can fix it.
Oh no! I guess maybe. This is now not a part of Bonopolis. Oops.
Oh no!
It's like,
sorry.
It's been retracted. We have not been on this
special lost episode.
Yeah. I guess we just can't upload this one. I don't know. It's unusual.
Oh god.
but yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll have him edit it in post. Well, this is going to be the longest editing notes of all time.
Oh no! I'm sorry, Achi. Forgive me.
It'll be fine, I think.
Oh, and then I have two other questions.
Or the fourth question. Sorry.
I have who has been your favorite episode so far? I know it's hard to pick favorites, but
I like the ones with me in it. I think those are kind of the like some of the best ones.
I want to know.
Well, I liked Ruby's in particular because not only was it super long, but I also feel like we oscillated between a lot of like jokes and stuff, but some serious stuff as well. And I think that one was like almost like it was more of a show-ish one to me, because I feel like it really showcased a lot of like his it showcased a lot of Ruby's history to me. And I was curious about a lot of that too. And you know, Ruby's just fun to talk to. So I will say I also really liked Josie's episode. And I feel like we vibed on a lot of like game stuff for sure. Ronan's episode is not one you've seen yet, I don't think.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Because it's not out.
I need to catch up. I'm like behind on episodes.
Yeah, well, that one's like it's only like a raw one now, so it should be coming out on Monday. But Ronan's, I think
it really got to the core of like League of Legends of all things. I did not
Oh,
know
gosh.
that how much of a fan of League Ronan was, but it is actually it probably marks one of the first times in my brain that I thought, you know what, League of Legends may not be all that bad. I genuinely,
Oh, no. Oh,
I
no.
genuinely had that thought, and that's a thought that I never would have had. And so it's just, you know, you actually sort of get your mind changed on some things like that as well, and I appreciate that. And I'm gonna also say that anybody who I'm not mentioning, I hate them. I hate them all. Every last one. No, sorry. But
Oh my god.
anyone who I'm not mentioning is somebody who I also enjoyed their episode. It's just I have not had a lot of time to sit and reflect on every single conversation. And that is something that I actually want to do specifically for like a special episode sometime, maybe between quote unquote seasons of this. I want to be able to go back and have specific like clips and moments and things. I would love for those to be uploaded onto the channel as well. But I want to be able to remember some of those a little easier, and also have other people be able to see those.
Yeah.
And just have there to be more stuff to look at, because I know that there's
I
been good
definitely
moments
wanna-
of AdV1.
Yeah, I want to do the time code thing. I forget what it's called on YouTube, but
Oh yeah, the time code with the
Like how
like
you
chapters.
yeah, chapters. That's what it is. I definitely want to go through and do chapters, but that means I need to watch through every single
That is the
podcast,
issue. It's
take
like,
a note of where a chapter starts and ends, and yeah.
and the only reason that I haven't been doing that myself is because I have a full-time job and I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I
I'd do it if I wasn't busy with
I talked
things.
like I did the talking already. Like I remember a lot of this when I hear it back, but it's also like, I don't know. It actually might not be that hard for me to do specifically, because I can just kind of click through parts and remember maybe what I said, but then I don't have the greatest memory ever either.
Yeah.
I do remember that I hyped up Hyvol's episode in my head, and then I was like really happy with it, because Hyvol's fun to talk to for sure, and everyone else is as well, obviously, but Hyvol's he's like a character, you know. And,
Yes, I love his voice.
yeah. And so I've thought of a lot of the episodes, and if I had to like funnel that down to a favorite, it's definitely like Ruby's is definitely up there. And I'll be real with you, I liked Neat's episode too. I think that was a fun one. But there's a lot that I can recall in these episodes, but I can recall a lot more like favorite type moments of Ruby's.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's cool. Interesting.
Did you
I know.
have a
I
last
like.
question?
Yes, I have a last question.
Wait,
technically
actually,
it's-
counter question though.
yes.
Of the ones that you've seen, what's your favorite episode?
Ooh, I liked Nunzi's episode a lot, and
Yeah, me too.
I also really like Choco's.
Yeah.
Choco's. Yeah, Choco's.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably been like the most chill and comfortable.
It was the first one, which is crazy too.
Yeah,
It's almost
like,
200 views.
it really helped me ease into like the idea of doing the show as well, because at the time other than meetings and stuff, we hadn't really talked a ton, and I
Yeah.
was not nervous or anything like that. I was just like, I was fascinated, because Choco is like,
he's really interesting to talk to the point where afterwards, and I don't know if I've probably said this on some other, well, I think I've said it on some other episodes and stuff and like in the chat, but after that episode, we stayed on and talked for 5 hours.
I was gonna say, every time I'm doing a stream with Choco and we're in voice call, well, I'll end stream and then we stay on call for like another 5 hours.
Yeah, it's just fun. I don't know. Natural.
He's great
talker.
to talk to. Yeah. Honestly, really, really chill dude. I love him a lot.
Yeah, for sure. And
he's probably like one of the friendliest buns in the group. He's the outgoing one.
Yeah, and I'm also not the outgoing one, which is
I'm
interesting.
the anxiety-ridden one.
Well, for the one who's supposed to be like having the show and stuff, like, and coming up to people and inviting them on and all that, it's like I do that because I would not talk to anyone otherwise. Like,
I find it so funny that like when we were first discussing Lap and Lounge and we're like, from the first meeting of Bonopolis, we're like, okay, it's his show. Give it to him.
Yeah. I still remember that you're the one who proposed all this, and I was just thinking like, oh, well, I'll do it. I mean,
well, because you have the voice for it, like,
yeah,
and I feel like you have the personality for it as well.
I don't really know what
like,
my personality is, but I like it. That's how I put all that.
It's you continue conversations very well.
Yeah, I mean,
what I noticed from
have to.
watching the episodes. I mean, yeah, but it's like there's not very much like hang time, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I'll let the time hang as I feel. Most of the time, it's like I'm good with silence. I just have to think of what to say next, and some of the time I don't think Archie actually edits those out, so those will be still in there.
I was gonna say sometimes there are moments where I'm like, I think this was supposed to be edited out, but it's here, but it's fine.
No, that is me actually revealing that I'm not good at filling but I am definitely good at making it seem like it's not there. I don't actually fill the dead air, but I try and wait. I try not to wait too long, at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's going to usually be a month or like enough pauses and just me actually talking. So no need for actual ones. But yes, what is the last question? Okay,
it's kind of like a combo question. I have too many questions. I'm sorry about this.
Oh no, it's okay.
Who surprised you most? And out of people who haven't been on Lap and Lounge, oh my gosh, my brain. Who are you most excited to maybe see on?
I want to see Sprinkles on.
Yes.
I think Ronan is working on having Sprinkles on, but I also want to see if Super Bunny Bun is not too nervous to do that. I think it would be nice to talk to them.
That would
as well.
Be cool. Oh my gosh.
But I want to talk to Noxie. Noxie is really funny. I don't know if you've gotten a chance to see them.
I don't think I have.
But they're actually hilarious.
I think I know, I see their icon a lot, but I haven't chatted with them or been played a game with them.
I also wish I wish Demi would come on. I don't know that they want to though, and I think things are still pretty busy as well. I know that Masa has said that they want to be on, but I think there's a lot of busy stuff going on. And in general, I'm happy that a lot of people are congregating and still talking about the show and everything. But I'm mostly excited for like the combo episodes and stuff like that as well. And you know, anybody who's like hung out in VC, those are generally the people that I know of just because they're the ones that are hanging around a lot more. So I would just love to see anybody in here.
Lofa on the show. I totally forgot.
Well, the only issue is like Lofa has conditioned this behind the new model.
Yeah,
and so
I forgot.
they want to be able to show that off. I'm actually happy that Sachi in particular came on before the new 2D model. I don't know if you got a chance to see that, but
No, I didn't.
you got to see it. It's so good. It's like, it's genuinely probably one of the best 2D models in all of Binopolis. It's really, really good. But yeah, I would love to see. I would like to have Sachi on again just because I want to see the model on there. But that's just like a selfish thing. The only issue is, like I was saying before, Lofa's not gonna be on until the model is done, so that could be whenever. And I hope it's not too long.
I know. I hope they get their model soon. I'm like so excited to see them with their
I
full
want to
model.
see it. It would be great. But yeah, that's just gonna have to wait until then. And I'm sure they want to be on by now as well. But that would just require the thing being done, so can't really help it.
Mm-hmm.
And
who are you
also,
most surprised by?
Surprised by?
Yeah.
Let me look at the list again. Because I guess I find it a little harder to answer that one just because, like, I'm genuinely surprised anybody came on at all.
Oh my gosh.
You know, everybody's taking they're taking a chance with just like talking to me. And I know that I'm not like scary. I'm not mean. There's nothing outwardly wrong with me. I'm pretty good at hiding it. But they're still taking a chance and talking to somebody who they don't know quite yet. And
Sure.
I feel like that's something that I would not do normally. And so they're all a little bit stronger for me for agreeing to come on to the show. And I appreciate that. Am I surprised that anybody agreed to it? I guess I was surprised what?
Oh, I was gonna say not like surprised they agreed to it, but who like surprised you the most in like maybe like how fun they were or maybe how open they were?
Oh, well, okay. I guess it doesn't really count. I know Ruby's already won one of these questions before, but I guess I just didn't expect like things to get so frank and earnest on Ruby's episode, just because I was not expecting like a lot of the history that they told me about themselves, and so that was a nice one. I also want to say that I had a lot of fun with Suki, and I think my surprise came from the fact that they said that they're not that good at talking, but at the same time we did a pretty long episode. At the time, the standard was somewhere around like 2 hours or so, and you know, we got a chance to talk about art and stuff as well. I really appreciated that episode. I think I also didn't really know Achi that well at first. I mean, I didn't really know very much of anybody. So most of our interactions at that point had been just through meetings and just talking about specific things. So it was nice to be able to just like wind down and talk about whatever. I guess I was also very surprised that after Achi's episode, they agreed to edit for the show. That was a nice little bonus.
Pretty cool.
And it's been working out ever since.
I know you guys put in a lot of work into it, and to see you guys consistently post every week. I know this coming week.
Oh no, it was just no, it was this past Monday. Yeah.
Oh, this past Monday. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But hey, like out of how many that you've posted already?
Hey, it's been 10 so far. So I felt like it would be okay to take a break that time, and obviously I can't really edit as Achi or as well as Achi, so who knows.
But hey, I'm proud of all of y'all. Y'all work hard.
It's been nice. I don't know. These go down easy. It's just having a conversation with people. So I feel like I'm lucky to be able to just do this, and for people to appreciate it for one reason or another. It makes me happy. So maybe that's my real surprise, is that people are responding well to it.
I like seeing people in the chat talking about, oh, this week's episode. Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm. And then there was one comment like a whole month ago saying like the host's voice is so soothing. And it's like, oh, thanks. Yeah, that's cool. Neat. So that was another surprise, I think. Not that there's anything wrong with my voice. I don't have that in me of like, I can actually listen to my voice. I don't have an issue with hearing it from places. I just don't like to. I don't like to talk for long, or like I don't like to talk to myself in a sense. So I don't like hearing the sound of my own voice in the sense of I don't like to talk too much. Like, especially at work. That's another thing.
I'm dead silent when I used to
yeah.
do like in-person work. I was like, no, I'm not talking to anyone unless I am spoken to.
Mm-hmm. But like in this circumstance of streaming and everything, and like actually hearing my voice and stuff, like I'm totally fine with that because I sound like this. Like it's not that hard.
A lot of people don't like hearing, like a lot of streamers. A lot of Binopolis members mention that you don't like hearing their own voice or like watching their own content back.
Mm-hmm. I legitimately have gotten like almost 2 hours into my own VOD before of just like watching it. It's like it's not even like a weird. Okay, narcissism is a real disorder, but it's also not that though. It's more like just sort of think of it analytically in a sense where I'm curious about what I said, and then I do like a weird hopscotch thing in my brain where I try and think of the thing that I said and see if I remember. So I'll just be sitting there doing that, and it's like, wait, what am I doing? I did this already. I need to stop. I need to look for the clip already. I need to like do all that, because that's mostly what I watch my own stuff for, is just trying to find what anyone would think was funny.
A clippable moment.
Yeah. I still have issues with that. I think that's probably the number one thing of like, there's some people who will do a stream and like the entirety of it is clippable. And then there's some people like that just have a different energy is what I would say. Like, I know that I'm not hyper. I know that I'm not bouncing off the walls, that I'm not screaming. I'm not doing a lot of stuff, but I know that whatever it is that I do is appreciated. So that's all fine with me. I don't have to be clippable. I don't have to react times 100. I don't have to exaggerate what I'm doing in order for people to get what they want. So I feel like that's That's pretty okay.
I need to clip more moments. I'm bad at. I usually just clip moments where like my mods are like, "That was a funny part. You should clip later," and I was like, "Okay, I will."
Yeah, I don't even know what my metric is, but I think I gotta start doing TikTok. But I'm just going to export clips and stuff and just throw them on there.
Do it that way. It's easier.
I can't do it.
I like editing things. I don't know. I'm like, it's weird. I like editing the Vroid models. I like overlays. I like editing videos.
Mm-hmm.
It's a weird hobby to have.
Well, I think it's satisfying just seeing everything come together, though, because obviously when you have that sort of mindset, you can look at something and think, oh, this could use this could use that, and you can actually be able to do it and think, hey, there's this better way to present the thing that you did, and here it is. I did it. And so it's nice. I wish I had more of that in me. I think I probably did maybe a decade or so ago, but it's gone. I don't really like it anymore. I don't know. Editing is I'm going to try and do it, but the last time I really did like significant edits of anything was I would stitch together the final rounds of every like long fighting game set that I had with people. And so it's just like the most hype moments of like it's 2 versus 2, one of them's about to win. I think I actually want to get one of those videos and play it and have the chat bet on it. I think that would be fun.
That would be cool.
Yeah, it would be a nice way to bring in some of my like 500 plus videos of Soul Calibur without any voice to it that I have. That would be pretty neat. But I didn't even do that for all of them. I did that for like 3 of them because I don't like editing. But I think I can learn to love it eventually.
What kind of software did you use to edit before?
I used like it was some weird little clipping thing. I forgot what it was called. Huh. I don't have it anymore. OpenShot. That's what it was.
Oh, I feel like I've heard of that one before.
Yeah, it was OpenShot. That's what I used to use. But
I used to use Sony Vegas, and I still have Sony Vegas, but
well, that's the one I always hear is a nice one. I gotta see what's going on with that because it's probably transferable enough, I would say. I would love to be able to put words on there, and I think I got some sort of recommendation for like a program that helps with that.
One that's like beginner friendly video editing, does everything really good is CapCut, but specifically CapCut for your desktop. I would recommend that one.
Oh no,
it's way better.
I don't do
it's
any
way
of this
easier
stuff
on your phone.
mobile.
Yeah, some people do it mobile, and I'm like, that is a nightmare. I don't know how.
No,
I could not edit mobile, but CapCut on the PC works very well.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. I'm looking for it now. I stuck it somewhere very random.
I mean, I'm still using like friggin' Photoshop from I don't even know when, like 2015.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I had a very lightly used copy of like CS6 or something. Okay, Aegis Sub. There we go. A free cross-platform open source tool for creating and modifying subtitles. That's what I got. Here, let me link this to you. Because I saw some former some person who clips Kuro now was talking about, they just like name dropped this, and I thought I need to write that down. And so I guess that's what it is.
That's
But
pretty
no,
cool.
we'll see. I don't know how to use it, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be some sort of documentation or videos about it.
You see, that's my issue. Is I get into new things and then I watch all the tutorials for them, and then I go and make stuff. I have too many hobbies. I need to stick to one.
Yeah, I would say that there was a point in which I used to indulge a lot more of those hobbies, but it's just sort of like one by one fell to art for a while, but then now art has fallen for the most part. But
Oh no!
I need to get it back, and I want to, because there's so much stuff that I want to draw. It's like it's frustrating because this is the most I've ever wanted to draw with the
most
least
inspired.
like the least amount of desire to actually draw.
Oh gosh, that's me lately too. It's mainly because like I'm punching my desk as we speak right now. It's not fair when people make characters that are so fun to draw.
Yeah.
And I just want to spend all my time drawing them.
Yeah. It's like, do you know how many I would have drawn probably every single one of Mouse's models if I could have. Like, I would have, but I just, you know, I think part of the issue is that, and this is one of the things that I talked about with Suki, I never really learned how to draw for myself. I would just do it. I would just doodle when I was younger, and I wouldn't think about it so much, you know? It would just be natural. But then later, when I started getting into digital art, I took commissions. But the very first thing that I did with that was I took requests. That was a mistake. And, you know, it gave me a lot of practice, but it basically, it tuned my brain towards the idea of art is something that you do for other people. And when they say that they're satisfied, that's when you stop and you move on. So no part of that really involves the idea of me just sitting down, picking something to draw, and just drawing it, which is what so many people can do. But I have not figured out how to do that yet.
I just need to find time to draw. Because, like, I'm also... Are you like this too? I'm, like, really impatient with my own drawing, like, speed.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to finish this in a day. But it's like, no, take your time. It will look nicer if you take your time.
My big issue is, like, that impatience kicks in when line art is involved. And I know that every single time I do really, really good or really fancy line art, the actual piece is going to come out better. But I don't want to because it takes so long to do that. And then if I'm just sitting there doing all of that, then I could be sketching out something else instead. So I don't know. And then by the time I've worked on something for too long, if I look at it, I want to rip it up. I want to delete it and shred it. It's so bad. I don't know why, but I'm not even like super, super critical of my art because I understand that there's a lot of things that I'm still learning about art in general, but it can get exhausting having to look at pieces that have been taking for weeks what could have been taking in a few days.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna ask, did you go to school for art at all?
I went to school and the school had art, but I did not go to school for art, if that makes sense.
Yes, it makes sense.
Okay. But yeah, I took art classes while I was at school, but it was not an art school, and it was not even particularly known for its art program or anything like that. I just so happened to be able to be taught 3D and taught digital art relatively at the same time.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to an art school for college. I technically my degree is it's weird. It's a bachelor's of science in entertainment design, which I'm like, why is it a science degree?
I don't.
I'm
don't
still
know why.
confused on that.
I mean,
But yeah.
if you're real good at it, it can be a science. But I don't think that really counts for some things. I don't know.
Yeah. What sucked was it was I transferred to a good art school. Like it's a very like well-known one in California. But it happened during COVID. So
Yeah. No, the
I
exact
didn't-
same thing happened to me. I had
I didn't
taken
get
my
to attend.
yeah. I
It
had
was
taken
all
my
online.
oh, yeah, no, that's the worst memory of it all, because I was doing the online classes leading up to the fact that the next semester that I go to this place, I'm going to be able to go in person. I'm going to be able to take so many more classes. It's going to be so
Yeah,
great.
exactly.
And no one can leave their houses. What did you say? No one
Like,
can leave their
exactly.
houses?
Exactly
Oh.
that. It sucked. I technically graduated during COVID, which sucked because graduation did not exist.
Yeah.
It was basically a live stream.
Mhm.
That's what we got.
And
But
did
I mean,
you know
I
there was actually two classes that I appeared as this character.
oh my gosh, really, dude?
I
If I had
appeared
the bravery.
as myself.
Oh my gosh.
No, obviously everything else was like, I guess that's the only webcam streaming I ever did, was attending online classes.
Going on Zoom call for
Yeah.
class. That's
But
funny.
see-
my
what?
my first sketch for this VTuber like character in general.
Mhm.
I had to make a character design for one of my classes, write up a story, sketch out the character, write all the details, and it was a spin-off of I guess this character. So it was she had green hair, she didn't have bunny ears, she was a cyberpunk assassin because I was playing
Oh.
cyberpunk.
Oh, well, yeah, there you go. This
But yeah,
is.
she spun off into this, I guess.
Oh, hey, I'm glad you got here. I mean, nothing against green hair, you know.
Yeah. It's very, very strange, very cool. I wish I could find those old sketches. They're somewhere deep in the hard drive.
Yeah, maybe one of these days. I know that there's some old sketchbooks and things that I kind of want to take pictures
Sketchbook
of, and
tour? Sketchbook
yeah.
tour?
yeah, like I'm not gonna do hand cam or anything like that. I know I have a webcam, but I don't really intend to use it for anything other than just VTubing. I would love to get a cell phone at some point, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, the old sketchbooks, I feel like there's some stuff that I could look at it now and redraw what I was trying to
that would
draw
be
at the
cool.
time. I think that would be super cool.
That would be awesome. Turn some
Yeah.
of your old like sketches into digital.
Mm.
That would be really cool.
Yep. And I believe I'm starting to get actually sleepy now.
Oh gosh, yes, we went longer than we were supposed to. Oh no.
That's fine. I mean, you still have more questions. I prefaced with the ability and the fact that I would be doing the exact same thing and just asking more questions. But I think I'm going to go try out my mattress that has been propped up by pillows now.
Oh my goodness.
Because why buy a new mattress when you can put pillows underneath it in order to compensate for the dip in the middle?
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, we're there.
Oh no.
Any last shout outs you want to give? Anything you're doing upcoming in the next 2 weeks?
Oh, in the next 2 weeks? I don't know.
Well,
I haven't planned the date
next
for
2
it.
weeks.
We're planning it. We're in the middle of planning it.
Planning what?
Monopolis is gonna have a Christmas, or I guess a holiday celebration. We're still trying to pick the week for it.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be a bunch of collabs, kind of like how we did with Bunoween, which I hope people had fun. I had fun with the candy tier list.
Yeah, I still need to
crazy.
watch the VOD of that and everything because I was just like, I was so out of it that I knew that if I were to try and join at the time, I wouldn't be even like saying or doing much. And I just felt like, I don't know.
There were a lot of arguments.
I imagine there were a lot at the time. And I don't think I would really be helping because candy is very polarizing, as you can see.
Yeah. I was the only one in the group who actually liked candy corn.
Oh, yeah, that's a hard to defend position, I'm sure. But I mean, as someone who chose the colors of candy corn by accident, by complete accident,
Oh my
and
gosh.
actually still does not like candy corn. I mean, I suppose I can speak on the fact that it's just like you either love it or you hate it.
Yeah.
And I think that's fine. Because for everybody who hates it, it's more for the people who love it. That's just
Yes.
my overall view on candy.
And then I'm trying to think of anything else. I might try and plan a separate thing for my channel for the holidays. Maybe like a karaoke stream.
Oh, that'd
Just
be
for
cool.
funsies.
I know that when it comes to like December related stuff, I want to play through the holiday hair episodes of Jazz Jackrabbit, and I think that'll be
Ah,
super fun. I wanted to try and do it last year, but a lot of stuff was going on, so now people will actually be able to watch it. I think not very many people were watching me last year, and still not very many people are, but certainly more than before. And I feel a little bit more comfortable with the idea of like somebody might actually come in and want to see all this stuff. So I better actually do it if I want to. I want to do the holiday hair stuff.
that'll definitely be cool. I'll definitely try and stop by.
Yeah,
Depending
whenever
on
it
things.
is.
Yeah.
I'm getting pretty bad about like actually announcing and doing streams and stuff, but that is another thing that I would love to do for the holidays is stream more regularly. But
Me too.
we'll see.
I've been these past two, like I think since September, my stream schedule has been garbage. I need to get back to streaming consistently. I'm hoping this week will bode well for me. I don't have anything planned. I'm not sick and I'm not on vacation.
Well,
So it should
for the
be-
record, since this was actually 2 weeks ago, you actually did a lot of streams and they were actually very fun. So thank you for being.
Oh gosh, now I'm pressured. I have
No,
to.
you did exactly at least 2.
Okay.
Better expectation.
Yeah. I can do 2 streams.
Yeah, I should also probably do 2 streams as well. At the very minimum.
We're
But
both
yeah,
we're gonna keep track of each other. We're both gonna do this.
Yes, I think that'll be a fair exchange. We will both do 2 streams in the next 2 weeks.
Yes.
Maybe 3 if we're lucky.
Yeah, maybe. We'll try.
I'm gonna go ahead and go.